Welcome to Team Fortress TV. This is Admirable. The cast isn't happening for at least 15 minutes. I think the game starts in 30. We've had a little disagreement here, but either way, between now and the game starting, I'm going to be throwing things over to the analyst desk so they can guide you through this ETF2L Season 23 powered by TT Esports Premiership playoffs fixture as dd+5abs go up against Publiclir. CommanderX, take it away.
Hi guys, it's going to be me, War and Dr. Phil taking you through some stats. I think the best place to start is how both teams got here. So hopefully the stats will work. Otherwise this is going to be a very interesting half an hour.
A good bit as well would be to give me the stats, so I've just done it now.
I just did it.
Nice.
On the ball.
I should have never have doubted you.
Hold on, I did it too early. David is never ready. I don't know. Technical issues, as always.
No, wait, there are no technical issues here. Only professionalism. I've got my esports suit on. I found out there is no webcams today. But I did keep my esports suit on, so I look like a professional even though people at home cannot see me. The whole stats thing still isn't working. I'm currently looking at a blank screen, so this must be AMS's stats I'm looking at. Oh, zing! Over to you.
Still trying to get the stats to work.
Well, in that case, I've got an instant trivia. We were wanting some trivia for some of the players, and I've actually got one, actually. So Honey Badger, you know, the guy that we all know and love, did you know that the reason why he came up with his name was because honey badgers are the most fearless creature, and it really fits in with his persona that he has. Yeah.
Honey badgers are the most fearless creature.
Yeah.
What is the metric? Like, how do they measure fear?
I don't know. It's in the Guinness Book of Records, and you can't. That's unflappable. That's pretty much like fact, isn't it?
Just like a honey badger, it's unflappable.
Yeah. They have very tough skin. It's very thick and rubbery, which almost impervious to arrows and spears. Even a blow from a machete can't scratch the skin, which is why Honey Badger is such a bully on TF2 pickup. Like, if you say anything back to him, the words just bounce right off him because of his tough shell.
Even from a legendary demo man like yourself, he still shoots back. He's got no respect for the old school, this young whippersnapper, Honey.
I know. He did have a brief career into Overwatch, realised it was a terrible game as well, so that ended before I could even start. So I don't really have any more interesting facts. I typed all the players' names into Google to see if it meant anything, and I couldn't really bring up anything else apart from Honey Badger.
A productive day's preparation, man.
Well, everybody wanted trivia and facts, so I thought, alright, let me bust out my Ask Jeeves search, and it never happened.
I did actually do a bit of trivia searching today myself. It's one of the new features Gentleman John's added to the stream stats. I don't know if I want to reveal the trivia I've unearthed more or just save it until it's actually on the screen. I think it's got more impact when it's, you know, white text.
What, you mean the stream stats that shows like percentages on the map and like how many parts are won?
Oh yeah, that's the other sick thing that's coming up as well, isn't it? Are we using that one tonight?
I don't know. I was hoping.
Whoa, it's not ready.
I was hoping to
abort.
I was hoping to spoil one of them as part of a bit, but I don't know what the other one is, to be honest. Fill me in. We've got lots of time to waste because we still don't have the stats available because CommanderX is ferociously number crunching him as we speak.
I've got my calculator out and my abacus.
He's got his abacus in the background. He's literally sliding across all the whatever they're called across it to try and do the maths.
Abakeys, I believe.
Abaci, I believe, is what the actual terminology.
Balls.
Yeah, maybe that as well.
It's very hard to calculate damage because they're very big numbers, and my abacus isn't big enough.
Oh, I've got an abacus big enough next to me. It's my entire wall.
Like one of those early education centres, just the walls and abacus.
Like really, yeah. But the balls are a bit small, if you know what I mean. It's opposite my wall of my favourite logs that I've got printed out and stuck on there.
Here's what I'm going to do then. Since we don't actually have any visualization on screen, I'm just going to go to the ETF2L website. You know, people slate it. They say it's outdated, whatever. But I can remind you guys what the maps are tonight at least. Because dd+5abs miraculously made it in as the higher seed in this fixture. They went first, they banned Badlands. And then it was a ban of Gullywash coming out from Publiclir. Then they picked Sunshine. And dd+5abs picked Snake. And then they managed to pick Product as well as the decider. Your thoughts on the maps, War?
It's pretty interesting. Now, I would have probably gone with Publiclir to win the series, but I don't think Kaya is calling anymore at all now. Anyway, I know he wasn't before, but I don't know if things have changed. But I would have imagined. Well, to be honest, it seems like DD5 and 5abs. Well, actually, I have to call them QNX's team because of the very, very bad team name. They seem to be more organised, so I think the map pool kind of favours them, if anything, to be honest. Especially with Viaduct. I mean, what was the game that I casted last week? I know they absolutely kind of stomped a team. Was it Publicly last week? I can't remember. CommanderX, this is when you're meant to chime in because you've got a better attention span than I have.
Fill me in on the first part of the sentence.
The first part was we casted a game with them last week.
They played Foreskinks,
Five abs. Yeah, they stomped Foreskinks in Foreskinks' final game.
That was it. It's a good job you're all on the ball. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, and they beat Lego.
Yep. That's the big one right there. Like if you look at sort of a series of results, well, don't look at them. Picture the series of results. And like DD and 5abs end of the season was so strong.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Everybody in chat, go to, because we have to sort of do this off the cuff. We don't have the splash, so I want everybody to go into their browser of choice and type in the following URL: http://etf2l.org/teams/25089, and then you can see the results for DD and 5abs. And if you scroll down to the half of the page with me, you'll be able to see their results. And it looks pretty nice. Those are some greens that show up there. And naturally, those greens are what turn this team into a playoff contending team like they are today. And yeah, I feel like they could probably win, to be honest.
Yeah, I think DD and 5abs could win. I put 2 keys on it, so I'm really hoping they do.
It goes to 3 maps, I believe they win as well.
Yeah. What do you feel, Dr. Chill, with you losing against them, a team that was slated to finish last in the season, and you lost against them?
Last, so.
Well, I called them last, and like a lot.
Well, at the day we played them, they played really well together.
Yeah, I've seen their PCW's results. They seem to have like very inconsistent ones. I remember seeing them like getting completely wrecked by like some teams, but then absolutely demolishing the same teams the week after.
Yeah.
So it seemed to be a bit inconsistent. What's the main standout players for this team for you?
I would probably say DD5F, the Roma. Like, he can make some big plays, but other times he does nothing, in my opinion. It's really hit or miss for him.
Have we got stats?
We did it, boys.
How do I see these stats?
Click on the link in Mumble. It must have been that bit when you were narrating, like guiding people through their browser experience to the table. The universe obviously decided that just wasn't interesting enough and decided to let that wasn't good enough entertainment. So we decided.
Mine still doesn't work though.
Yeah, same here. Still just blank.
Are you sure?
I'll reload it. I'll reload it for you. That's what
wow.
there we go.
Whoa.
So yeah,
It's like we're all in the same room as each other on the same desk talking about this video game.
Yeah. As you can see, like it just demonstrates that final run of games, like the last 4 games, they took 17 points dd+5abs compared to the 6 that Publiclir took.
Well, you've done some counting.
I counted, yeah.
I don't even know what number that is. Goodness. Yeah, they were really good. I'm not going to go too much into left game versus Foreskins because Foreskins seemed like a team that was quite beaten and low morale. But their games against Infused and Lego were very good. But yeah, I guess they had like the hardest start to the season because they had to play Nerd Rage and Perilous pretty much in the first 3 games, but all the rest of them were kind of easy for them, apart from the time that they previous met. Although their previous game against each other was close. It was Granary and Gullywash, both of which aren't being played today.
Yeah, I found that quite interesting that Publiclir opted not to considering they beat them on both maps. On Granary and Gullywash, and they opted to pick neither of them and opted instead for Sunshine. I mean, like Publiclir have been good on Sunshine. I believe when they played it twice early in the season, they beat Planet Express and took a point off Nerd Rage, whereas dd+5abs lost both of their Sunshine games.
Interestingly, that they did ban Gullywash. I find that's quite strange. Yeah, it's because Shappy banned Badlands first, so they didn't even pick to. I remember Honey Badger saying how that was one of their strongest maps, and they didn't even, waste the chance to remove that map, and they've, left the maps that they were beaten on by Publicly when they last met. Words. So yeah, it should be kind of interesting. I think still. Out of all the maps, I kind of feel Sunshine. Well, I feel they're quite scout friendly, all of the maps. So I really do think this is going to come down as to which scout combo shows up. If Atomic decides to play the video game today, he could probably single-handedly carry them. It just depends on which one shows up. I've heard he's got a twin brother that sometimes plays on his account. He's bad.
Publicly, it will definitely be the scouts deciding whether or not they're gonna win. In my opinion, like that is the strong point for Publicly.
Yeah, I think they're the only point in that team that actually shows some sort of consistency. Yep. I'm not a big fan of the soldier combo on that team. Oh. They seem to be very, very messy, swapping roles around quite a bit. We've got head-to-head stats now.
Yeah, I was about to say, it kind of demonstrates, if you look at the impact and the percentage of the work the Publiclir scouts are doing for their team, in terms of sort of kills and such, compared to the dd+5ab scouts, it's like a massive differential.
Oh, look at these. Oh, nothing tickles my pickle more than some damage numbers. Although there, CommanderX is the only one that really gets me going, if I'm honest, because he's on 327 DPM. That's tasty.
CommanderX has been a revelation since he came into the team. Like I'm pretty sure everyone around the top sort of always knew he was like one of the best, but he's never really been in a team, where he's had an opportunity to really play at the top. But now he's in playoffs with dd+5abs.
I don't know if it's because he's one of the best, to be honest. I think it's he's got like a very, very one-dimensional play style in some ways, and he's always sort of had that where it's just very, very pocket heavy. It's sort of like how Zebosai would play Soldier. You kind of know what you're getting from him, but over the past few games he's certainly been able to play better, and it does sort of help quite a bit that this team has a little bit more structure and can play around his strengths, whereas I guess the previous teams that he was on were a bit inconsistent. I mean, let's not forget that he did play in Team Rocket.
I think everyone would rather forget that.
Nobody would forget that, let's be honest. That was a game, that was a team that had a plethora of superstars, to be honest. Let's not forget, I mean, I was in it.
I don't want this history lesson. I'm skipping class.
Come on, guys.
skipping
It's 2 years ago. Come on. Let's travel back in time with me now.
I do find it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because obviously AMS and Medico both, like AMS is, I guess, is technically the pocket, but he barely plays a pocket role, whereas QNX, you see him running the shotgun quite a lot as well. Now, much more traditional pocket role, just soaking up those heals, being like the first person in, etc., and opening it up, whereas AMS and Medico play really loose, and a lot of the time that kind of hurts them, just because, I don't know, I don't want to think of AMS and Medico in a season. Like, AMS has been really hit and miss. Medico's been really anonymous all season as well.
I think it's because like the scouts on Publiclir don't really seem to have much structure to them either. It's sort of like a, all right guys, let's take this fight and find out what happens kind of thing. Because there was many times when what was it? I remember casting a game of theirs, and like both of their soldiers just kept on going forward, bombing in, trying to like get a pick on the medic in just situations where it weren't needed, and just putting their team at a massive disadvantage. Like, for them to really do well this game, they need to, if they're going to have both of the soldiers playing like that, both in a very loose situation where they're both kind of roamers and pockets, they really need to have both of their scouts like just brought in quite close to them, because it's just pretty, it's just going to be a disaster. And I think that's from the last few games that I've watched with Publiclir. Like, there's just been no structure against a team that has a little bit more organisation than them, and dd+5abs seem to be a little bit more consistent now. I feel a lot more anyway.
I think it's the main calling switch up. Like, if you remember, like, the Publiclir roster that went to, like, DreamHack, and how they played, like, really surprisingly well, you know, really sort of together, really nice pushes. And you saw it when Onkaya first came back into the team. Like, they started having some really nice Ubers. AMS was getting better Ubers off. But since Onkaya stopped calling, it's really sort of gone downhill. Like, they keep doing different things with their Ubers. There's no real synergy between what the two players doing are.
Yeah. Like,
or whoever's involved in the Uber. There's no direction to it. It's just kind of a, let's take this DM fight and win. And I think that's why a lot of the time this season they've traded maps with teams rather than like taking consistent wins. It's all just been kind of random DM fights they take, and half the time it works, half the time it doesn't.
Yeah, and I think it was the game against Infused on Gollywash where they got 5-0'd, which sort of really stood out. They just had nothing, no sort of strategy or coordination. And
on mid, on last, anywhere. It was a real shit show.
Product was just won by their scouts just carrying them through it and DMing hard. I remember Atomic having like loads and loads of frags.
Yeah, Atomic and Flip really stood out in that game, really worked for flank. I feel Publiclir seem to be trying that a lot in this season. Like these sort of backcap plays, the flank plays, AMS sort of adding to it as well. They're really stacking the flank. But I feel like it's a really risky way to play for backcap so heavily. Like, you kind of have to rely on the other team making the wrong decision at some point if you're going to keep going for backcap plays.
Your team needs coordination to the start, obviously. You can't sort of like, I can imagine that it's just going to be a case of people are fighting and then they just find out that one of their scouts is on a back cap and then they just play it out from there. It doesn't seem like anything's really prepared. It's like a big, their games are like interpretive dance.
Stuff's definitely happening, but nobody has any idea what is actually going on.
Exactly, yeah.
The interpretive dances of TF2. Let's look at some Demo Man stats. You guys are both relatively well known for Demo Man.
I'm not anymore on my has been. I'm more known for being number 27 in the world on Devil Daggers.
What do you make of them? Because I feel like Chappie's got better, like gotten a lot better as the season gone on, and I feel like this has been one of Smur's worst seasons to date.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's way harder to play against Chappie than it is to play against me, in my opinion. I've played against them both recently.
I'm terrible at the class now, so I can't really weigh in on anything.
Like, it seems that Shabby, they're both playing around the heals, but Shabby's doing way more with the heals actually, and Smear has a tendency to get caught out a lot playing against them.
It was particularly, I noticed, I think it was on Snakewater early on in the season. After they got their the initial game against Nerd Rage, Shappy had a really strong game on Snakewater, and even though his decision making at times is a little bit dodgy, a little bit inexperienced, his DM is certainly there. And I feel especially Flip in particular, the way if Chappie's hitting his shots and Publiclir are just bleeding people into them, especially people like Flip and Medico, they're just going to gift frags to the dd+5abs team.
Yeah. Basically, had to step up a lot the flank, and the soldiers have to not bleed into the dd+5f, because that is their biggest problem most of the time. Just go in one by one.
Yeah, and I think it will show as well, especially on these sort of the mids in question, especially on Sunshine, the first map we're going to, it's a big open mid. So if you don't move over as a team on Sunshine, you really can separate yourself from your team quite a lot and really just leave yourself wide open. It's been demanded that I show us some trivia. We don't even have any trivia for Smur. Admirable, you've let us down.
What? Oh, I added trivia earlier for him. I can't even remember what it is. Did you know, Stream, that Smira stole his name from his cat when he was only 11 years old?
When the cat was 11 or when he was 11?
See, that's the ambiguity I left in there intentionally to let you figure out. I can't believe it didn't load. There's something to do with the caching maybe, but oh well, no trivia for Smira. Glad you pressed that button though, CX.
I'm going back to the stats. The only other lineup I think that's going to be interesting, or matchup, I should say, is the Roma one. Because, was it Phil you were saying you really don't like, or you don't like the way dd+5f plays it? You feel like he goes for too many solo plays?
Well, he does not, sometimes it works out perfectly, but other times he just he just let that flag go. He's just that manless. Not always he actually does something. He is really hit or miss. When he hits the day, he does a shit ton for his team. But a lot of other times, he does nothing. You can shut him down too easily.
It seems very sort of European. I know. Let me explain what I mean by saying that now. One of the sort of references I use is how at IE55, I was going to say 58, but that's the future. When it was Nerd Rage versus Froyo and Viaduct, and every so often, and on the previous game before, I think it was on Snakewater, Zebo would absolutely poop on Shade, and it was amazing. You get all these really good solo Roma plays, but then on contrast on Viaduct, once this sort of been found out, it's easier for them to soak it up, and that sort of really makes a difference, is that he kind of goes in on his own without anybody there to follow him up. When Frey always had Blaze going in, you'd always have Clockwork that would go in behind and just clean up anything that he did, and that's sort of one of the sort of issues. It's probably because they're newish and a bit inexperienced, but those are sort of the main differences. And I feel like if Publiclir sort of get up to it and don't let him sort of just do all of these crazy bombs and get away with it, and just sort of soak him up, take him out of the game, and then move forward, it should be quite comfortable for them. But those are just sort of one of the things. I mean, his last games, he was pretty good. I was, dare I say, impressed.
When he played against, in their game against Publiclir during the season as well, he got a few really clutch Market Gardens onto Onkaya as well. I don't know what it is, some medics just seem vulnerable to the Market Garden.
Yeah.
you would know, Phil.
Yeah, I would know. Oh, I can't do.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, some medics just can't seem to avoid the shovel.
I'm glad I wasn't around in this era of Market Gardeners. I just want to give you your 5-minute warning, guys. 5 minutes before the game starts.
I was about to say, you're probably going to get Market Garden while you're casting tonight, Admirable.
Through the screen.
Just comes flying through. New computer down. There we go. It's even his trivia. Dropped 6 medics with Market Garden this season. No takers, no interest. Okay.
A lot of those want condom. Hey.
At least half of them are probably on condom, to be fair. What do we make of Medico then? We touched on it briefly earlier. Now he's just, I don't know, because when he was playing in high with top 5 Rocket, he seemed like one of these big up and coming players. You know, he was hitting so much stuff. He was playing pocket back then as well, and he was having so many nice Ubers.
Yeah, but I think it's also like because of French comms and so on, like just the way the French play together, it's way different. At least from what I've heard from a lot of the French players.
Yeah, it's probably just a case of being familiar with the people that you're playing with, so it's no surprise really. I sort of wasn't really expecting this team to do amazing, if I'm honest, but I guess they've gotten into playoffs. I was sort of, when they added Medico and Flip, I was a bit sort of like, you know, French people only really like each other. And then I realised that there wasn't any toxic Brits in that team, so they'll probably get on fine at the end of it all. But yeah, I don't know, he just hasn't been doing as well. I think that it's just because of the team and organisation and stuff.
Yeah, potentially. Do you think it's going to come into it because for a lot of these players, it's sort of their first time playing, I guess, like properly important games? Not to like dismiss every other division in ETF2L, but like for most of the dd+5abs roster and for Medico, they've not really been in any sort of real high pressure situations. Like they've been in sort of like tense maps and stuff, but nothing in sort of like proper, like there's not a lot of knockout action in Europe. So do you think it's going to be like, I don't know, like a choke time? Like,
let's be honest, there isn't really any sort of weight to the ETF2L season anymore. It's sort of like people just play it because we haven't got anything else to play. So it doesn't really have as much sort of glory behind it because, you know, ETF2L is just there. It's just something we'll take part in. So yeah, I don't know. They should just play it out. I think they'll do fine, to be honest, because against other teams throughout the season, they've been performing well. And at the end of the day, there's no difference between this game and those.
What a great advert for this game we're going into. Thank you, War.
Excellent.
You really, really created the hype there.
Well, the games are still hyped, but you know that's pretty much it. I just don't think these players are going to be that phased.
No one's going to choke then.
By the moment, well, apart from AMS, no.
AMS will heap the pressure on himself.
He'll go spy multiple times. It'll be embarrassing, and then that'll be it.
So, just bringing up the saloon odds right now, it's pretty tight. 52.8 to dd+5abs, 47.2 to Publiclir. Pretty close. As we're sort of nearing the actual start time to this game, where like what's going to happen? Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? How the map's going to go? Talk to me.
Publiclir will win Sunshine, dd+5 Snake, and dd+5 will win Viaduct as well.
I reckon the dd+5 will take it in 2 maps.
Ooh.
Bold prediction there.
I don't know where to go because I feel like dd+5abs are the better team, especially right now. Sort of they're peaking while Publiclir are pittering off. But then I feel the maps are better for Publiclir. Like looking across the results through the season, you know, like on the maps like dd+5abs picked, Publiclir won both their Viaduct games against Infused and Lego.
What? What skins you mean?
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's for one. No, Publiclir.
Yeah, Publiclir. We didn't play them on Snakewater. We played them on Badlands and
Oh no, sorry. I'm the wrong way around. Yeah, sorry. That was on Viaduct. Yeah, on Viaduct, Publiclir beat Infused and Lego, and on Snakewater, Publiclir beat Force Kings, and they lost to Nerage. Yeah.
We slammed Publiclir.
All right.
Product.
All right, Phil. Your season's over. Okay. It's about the other people. It's about the other people now.
Yeah,
it's about everyone else now, Phil.
That's right. Yeah.
It's about everyone else now, Phil.
Yeah, that's why I think dd+5 is going to take a product. I think they're way better on it than Publiclir is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close either way, but I think I'm with Phil. And dd+5abs will take it, but it'll be 3 maps. But I think all the maps will be close. I think they've just picked maps they're good at, but I think like dd+5abs, but the other team's also good at them as well. So it's just going to be a really tight contest throughout. And a lot of it might come down to sort of these crucial plays, like when we talked about dd+5f going for these individual plays and such, whether they come off, whether they don't come off. Same with a lot of like AMS, for example, when he tries to put the team on his back and go solo.
Yes.
Yeah, no, nothing to add. Just complete agreement with my knowledge.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we have the time, and I also think that we care about our viewer numbers. So I won't really sort of go deeper into the hole that I create for myself. But yeah, I just feel DD and 5 Friends have organisation from the way that I've been seeing them play, and Publiclir just don't have that. And they can't really rely on these huge plays and their scouts carrying them for so long, because everybody's just going to suss out how they play, what's going to happen, and that's it.
Oh, I'm being told we've got a bit more time. Since, as always, ETF2L is not doing, or the teams aren't doing the most stellar job of actually getting on the server on time.
I've heard it's because the DD and 5 Friends are currently doing team building exercises, which is why.
Do you know what kind of team building exercises?
Just, trying to build a fort out of balloons and stuff like that.
Sounds intense. Yeah, so this game should be live in at least several hours.
And they're currently sort of warming up, doing lunges and stuff, getting the blood flowing around all the important limbs that they need, like their legs.
They're practicing their mids by, literally going to a field, pretending it's sunshine, and practicing where they're going.
Yeah.
You can do it in real life. You can do it online.
Yeah, I like to think that these guys have like a strong emotional bond with each other. They don't. They probably hate each other, but still.
Nah, there's barely even one toxic Brit.
Yeah, well, actually, that's probably. I think that's why they win, personally, because I mentioned it last week. You need the dick factor, somebody in your team that's just going to have a go at everybody and, just sort of sort out the team between rounds when they're not performing well. And they have a Brit that can fill that role.
They have a Brit dick.
Yeah, they have the Brit dick, which is just what everybody and most teams need, be that replaced by another person of a different nation, but
suitable toxicity.
Yeah, I mean, every single great TF2 team has had a toxic Brit. I mean, Epsilon, one of the best teams that TF2 has had Numlocked, a toxic Brit. That was just being a dick to everyone.
And when Dunk was in Infused.
Yeah, and Bite, he was the biggest dick of all. He might not have been successful, but, he was still good at leading teams.
Yeah, it's a foolproof system.
Hmm.
So we've still got a little bit of time. So I want to talk about, we saw earlier in the season, particularly on Sunshine and Snakewater, the first two maps being played tonight, Honey Badger running the Vaccinator a lot. What do you make of it? Do you think it's really worthwhile? Do you think we'll see it tonight? Because he's sort of stopped using it as the season's gone along.
I can't really say that it doesn't work, because there's been times when I've been bringing it out and it's been fine and it's worked. So it's not really a high risk, high reward scenario, because he's been running it when he's just not going to have Uber in time for sort of very, very immediate last defenses. So yeah, I think the only reason why they haven't been using it as much is because they probably refined the situations more and understood it more when they can sort of pull it out and for it to work more successfully. But yeah, it's good either way that they've actually been experimenting and actually bringing out a new unlock and finding a way for it to work. I mean, I would like to obviously go through when they've been using it to see if it has really made a difference, but
it has made a difference for them, at least in some games, at least against us. It did, so we didn't get into a golden cap and gully wash, basically, because they ran Vaccinator.
Is it because nobody in your team understands how it works and they just get confused that there's people with bubbles around them?
Yeah, it's all new. It's like, wait,
wow.
Change something. Wow.
What is this gun that he's got? Wow. It's making weird noises.
I think, yeah, since they've been running it less, I remember earlier in the season they used to get like stuck on last, basically. Like they'd hold last and then just be stuck with Vaccinator, and then sort of have to try and push out with Vaccinator. And with the lack of buffs, it just sort of goes pear-shaped. But they seem to be getting better at it, and I think especially like if there's no real direction in a lot of for Publiclir Ubers, like they just try and take people in and just DM it because they got Uber advantage, but then suddenly they get vaccinated, and you're not able to swap that type of damage, like the projectile to hit scan. You don't have like a demo man and a scout. You just have like 2 soldiers or something. It could absolutely ruin like a lot of their pushes to last, especially on like Sunshine and Snakewater. Really difficult last to push.
Well, it kind of helps out with pushes as well. It's like a quick fix that isn't completely broken, I feel, because it sort of charges a lot quicker, and it also helps with damage types. So yeah, I think it's like good that they're running it. I'm glad that somebody has actually been running it and found a use for it, because it just seemed like another unlock that's just going to disappear into the abyss and no one's going to use.
Sorry, I was typing. I was listening though.
Oh, okay.
I was always listening. I was listening to you, War.
I don't think anybody listens to me most of the time. I can feel that when I speak, most people just collectively glaze over and start sort of like nodding off, and then they just pay attention to the last couple of words that I was saying.
Just make the last 2 the most interesting all the time.
Yeah.
Or just say 2 completely disconnected words.
I'm going to catch on to it one day.
And I do believe we are 12 on the server.
I see a server that's timed out.
Yeah.
Oh. They are changing server.
Oh, lovely. If only they had possibly the previous hour before this to arrange all this. Oh.
Or, you know, like for weeks.
Ping.
Oh no, yeah. My ping is 10 higher than it used to be.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't they all live in like the same area? Like none of them live particularly far from each other.
Yeah, but you know, probably someone gets bad routing to.
Oh, that's not true. You have like Ixie in Italy, Honey Badger, what?
Come on, that's not true.
Finnish. Jesus Christ, CX.
Yeah.
Europe is a small place.
You were meant to
pretty close.
find trivia and stuff. You ain't found anything.
I found trivia. Maybe we should make like a map of Europe and we'll pin where the players live
out
on
geography.
the map. And we can work out, you know, the most central place for them to have a server.
And then we can do it for the maps as well. Try and guess the location of where the maps are based. That'd be really fun. Burn some time. But yeah, I think it's probably just because one of their players probably gets like bad route into like a German server because their ISP routes it through Uganda or something. You know, it's just like all these little picky things.
Okay, they're now 9 on the new server. So sort of progress. By which I mean no progress whatsoever.
Do we have team comms for today? Was there no team comms? Oh, that's upsetting.
This is the playoffs, man!
What?
No team comms in the playoffs. It's serious business.
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
what?
Because people might be able to identify a strat that they don't even know that they run themselves.
I will give £5 to anyone who can identify any sort of thought-through strat Publiclir do tonight.
Good luck with that.
And then after it's all done, AMS will be like, excuse me, that spy play that I ran for the 7th time in a row. Now, that's in my book that I've got here.
AMS is sort of My Little Pony diary, full of all these spy strats.
Yeah. He's just been watching the Stabby Stabby stream all the time. I've heard he's a subscriber, to be honest, and a mod.
He was a big fan of that Twitter post about,
yeah, he was.
About Spy and Sixes.
He definitely liked it and retweeted it as well.
Confirmed retweet.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I could get the server info, David, since you seem to have it.
It's a simple, mate. Yeah.
Keep up.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You see, he actually posts it like as soon as he gets it, instead of just waiting for the last minute to share it.
How rude. I only read like 1 out of every 4 messages David sends. I normally give a message.
Yeah, he does. He should be like a real production guy and sort of whisper stuff in your ear. Like, just, you know, whisper various things. Like, we're now going to an infomercial in 5, 4. We should get ad breaks on here as well, I think. We should sell some ad space on TFTV.
Why don't you promote your blog?
No, I need to make my own infomercial for that, and then you guys can sort of just cut to it every so often. And now a word from the sponsors.
Yeah, but we'll cut to it at like awful times during like a crucial last push. We're just going to do a quick infomercial about War's blog.
My blog's dead anyway because I didn't renew my my domain and someone's parked it and I can't get hold of it now for like 2 years.
Can't you just get something pretty close?
I can't.
Like WARHURYEAH Demo Man.
WARHURYEAH Demo, yeah.
Can't you just put an exclamation mark at the end of it?
I don't know if I can have that, to be honest. Anyway, I think
you can have that kind of punctuation in a URL.
Yeah, I might just get one of those .gg pages. Like those are e-sporty. They are. You know, you're a proper esport person if you have .gg on the end of your web URL.
I'm really pleased, even though dd+5abs is a horrible name, I'm really glad none of the teams in Premier season have like .gg at the end of their name.
There's still time.
Don't
forget there is the Ronin.gg.
Yeah, but I just have to not watch American TF2 and then everything's fine.
Until they come to LAN. Yeah, Ronin. They've got Ronin.
No, Ronin as in I'm Ronin. I'm going running in the morning to stay fit.
Yeah, Ronin. Ronin. Keen. But yeah, they've got a .gg webpage, so you know they're esportsy. They've got it.
Step 1 in the esports org playbook: register a .gg domain name.
Oh, I'll be really quirky and get a .tf one. Like there isn't any of them already. Then
you're limiting yourself to Team Fortress. What if you want to make that switch over to Overwatch?
Yeah, that's what I'll probably get actually. .over or something like that.
.over.
No, Overwatch is dead after I realised I had to play 5 hours every night. Even though I've been complaining about E2F2L schedules and how nobody wants to play on weekends or more than 2 hours. And then if I get asked, I'm like, ugh! No, I've got better things to do. I've got a cat.
I was about to say, just post selfies with your cat on Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. Just look, right? Do you know how exhausting it is?
Every day you wake up, you post one.
I know, because that's what I'm doing. I literally just follow my cat around my house with my camera, trying to get her to do stuff. It's not even my cat.
That next viral video.
It's not even my cat.
Should we talk about the game briefly? Or?
Oh yeah. TF2.
Speaking of cats, did you know that Smira stole his name from his cat at the age of 11?
Wow.
And now we've seamlessly synced the entire intro into one
Speaking of animals,
story.
Did you know that honey badgers, their skin is quite loose, so it allows them to twist and turn on their attackers when held? Much like when people try and twist their way out of honey badgers' attacks or verbal abuse in pickups.
I like to imagine that you're sitting there with a copy of the Guinness Book of Records, just flicking through the pages you happen to land at age.
Very daft, mate. I know how to use Bing search. I printed out all the pages of honey badger facts. Hopefully, I can have my own spot after this game, so I can just read them out.
I feel like we're missing out on a real untapped resource here. We got Kaidus, ETF2L's greatest player, with us right here, and we haven't even heard him speak once. Who do you think is going to win today, Kato?
I think that dd+5f are going to win.
Yes.
And I don't agree with anything anyone said that I heard. I think they're going to destroy them, to be honest. Well, at least all I heard was CX saying it's probably going to be close. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Publiclir are just going to get shafted, to be honest.
I think the maps are good for Publiclir. Like, I think that'll help them. I think it'll make it close.
The what will?
The maps.
The maps?
Yeah.
Like, I saw this earlier, like, Sideshow heard the maps and he said, in that case, it's going to be a 2-0 for Publiclir. But I don't know what teams you guys have been paying attention to. Like,
I said it was a 2-0 to dd+5f.
Yeah, like, if it's going to be a 2-0, it's going to be a 2-0 to dd+5f. Like, Sunshine is, like, a weird one. Like, no one's good at Sunshine. Publiclir think they're good at it, but that's not true. Like, no one's good at that map. Everyone's just kind of bad, and one team ends up stumbling their way to more caps in any given game. So Sunshine could kind of go either way, but it's like, it's either going to be 2-0 to dd+5f, or Publiclir are going to steal Sunshine and lose on the third map. But, like, Snake Water is going to be a blowout. Like, Publiclir will get wrecked on Snake, probably. Like, you never really know in these like high stakes games with inexperienced players. It can always kind of be like random, but you know, if we're just going to talk about like what we can actually predict, because we can't predict like who's going to choke and things like that. Never really seen half of these players in high stakes, but you know, just going with.
We're live,
yeah.
baby.
Here we go to middle. I'm checking out the AMS cam because I know for sure that this kid is going to be launching ASAP. Middle number 1 about to get underway as AMS moves in on the left. It's an air shot, baby. He's showing up here on mid number 1, and it seems to be Publiclir taking the aggressive stance, working the way across the point, and they've just bullied dd+5abs back into the corner. Honey, Shabby and Sjoberg all going down here, and yet a single frag to come in against Publiclir. Am I going to jinx him? DD's going in looking for that market gardener, but not a single frag coming in against our plucky competitors from Publiclir, Kaidus.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. I was on the wrong server. Brilliant start. As yeah, my prediction obviously, well, not my prediction, but my assertion that dd+5abs are going to shank them. So far wrong, but it's Sunshine. Winning the mid is only 10% of the battle. Even if you wipe them and have full Uber advantage, you still have to contend with the last. Vaccinator is out and it is hot.
He's got some bubbles available here. He's going to have 2. The Uber's just fading already here for Publiclir. Smear is trying to go deep into that heavy of Sjoberg, but barely scratches him. There's still a lot of health available here and bubbles, and it looks like dd+5abs will be able to just shore up the defenses here in time. Atomico, Medico, and Smear all going down in that push, but Kaya stays alive, so that's going to give plenty of wiggle room here to Publiclir, who are just holding forward slightly with Flip there, seeing if they can beat out anyone, but AMS knows he wants to wait for his teammates, doesn't want to take that fight with the kind of temporary numbers disadvantage. Now he's going to work his way forward here, creating that distraction with the big heals. Atomic finds the frag onto Ixie on the right hand side, Medico onto DD, and now it's +2 advantage here for Publiclir. They're going to start capping the lighthouse, but they could just push right now, Kaidus.
Yep, and I definitely should. I think this is like, oh wow, AMS is just getting in and crushing them. That's around, but yeah, like while we have a sec, I don't really think the Vaccinator is a good idea on Sunshine. It's like so notoriously difficult to get out of Sunshine last, and having the Vax, like, you see Kaya like playing it really well there. Like I was gonna say when they were talking about it in the pregame, like the way you deal with a Vaccinator defense is you just don't panic, don't commit, and keep your medic alive. You're gonna have Uber, and then either they have to change off Vaccinator and you have advantage again, or you can Uber into a Vaccinator and just, you know, single on one guy and spread it. So Kaya playing it really well, and obviously the push out attempt from dd5 just wasn't yeah, too risky. It's Sunshine. You can't push out a last. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, definitely should have switched off there, but right now onto middle number 2, and it's a slightly different setup here as AMS jumps forward, but it's the Medico he's setting up the distraction for. He's trying to flank his way around here onto Choke, manages to isolate Sjoberg, gets that frag, but DD onto Flip equalises that scout disadvantage. It's 5-on-5 here, and we just see them all blobbed up on the dd+5abs side, but Ixie's gone down, so no scouts available here. They should probably start looking for the exit. It's only Honey Badger and dd+5f, and he's trapped up there. Medico is going to be all over Honey as well, and this looks like another catastrophic middle, but no, Honey with this surf up top. He's managed to make it into the middle. The rocket knocks him onto the med pack, and he's home free onto last. Medico knows he's been bested, and he's not going to continue the chase there. Well played, Honey.
Yeah, that was nice, and they overcommitted as well. Like Smega gets caught out by the scout respawning, so now they're down a demo, and I don't know. They have at least like if Honey had not. Oh my god, where are my words? I was going to say, if Honey had died there, sorry, if Honey had even survived there, and they all stayed alive for Publiclir, they could have got 2 for free, but now because Honey's alive and Smear's down, they can easily recontest, and we're seeing a trade on second. Medico goes down, but I'm not sure if they can actually carry this through to mid, but either way, like, they're going to be able to stabilize on 2 for sure. Like, worst case scenario, they're stable on 2. Looks like they want to try and go, but obviously looking at the situation as it was 30 seconds ago, this is really, really great for dd+5abs. They're getting 3 frags on mid while they're actually just taking complete control of mid. So yeah, big misunderstanding of the situation from Publiclir, overcommitting and then, well, overcommitting again actually as it happens.
Medico, who was first to die in that passage of play, is back on the field here with Kaya and Smear. They're holding kind of far forward here. Kaya needs to drop down underneath, or he might get caught. He's going to go into the roller door actually. Nobody's really going to commit off this. They're just trying to bait someone into Smear's sticky trap, and boom, jackpot. He picks up that kill onto Shabby, and now we see AMS going forward, but he gets absolutely destroyed on the door. Smear is super weak as well. Kaya with the arrow. DD's working his way in behind underneath as well. I see him on the outlines. Smear calls it. Kaya's trying to pop off arrows here. He's going in for the saws. Gets the uber saws, but it's only Kaya and Atomic left alive right now, and they're both isolated. Sjoberg's coming in lower. Kaya's in his side. Kaya with the drop. He couldn't react in time. Wanted to try and hold on to that, but no uber for on Kaya this time, and Honey Badger is actually just respawned, so it's going to be pretty much neck and neck in terms of the Uber charges, but this game is absolutely chaotic, Kaidus.
Yeah, I think it makes you kind of Kai saying no time to react there. As well as having time to react there, he also saw only one of those two surviving players was capping, so he knew the other one was unaccounted for, and really should have been like expecting, you know, as soon as he sees that guy, he pops because of his HP. So really not a good drop at all. Like, you can kind of make an argument for it, but I think that's a bad one. I mean, obviously he earned the Uber by a nice Uber source, so it's like whatever at the end of the day, but yeah, I think I'd be harsher than you were on that one. But nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. Like, Honey Badger's working like a 20% advantage, something like that, which is basically nothing on this point. All it means is basically Publiclir aren't going to be baited into making this awful push out Sunshine last, and now they can actually hold and potentially bait Honey Badger and boys into a bad push here. They're actually trying to go dry here. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is. Ixie's in. Maybe Ixie's just sacking the sniper. Oh, it's a double sack. This is something that's really common for dd+5. Is it +5abs? Is that a thing? Am I just saying that?
+5abs, that's right. Yeah.
That's such a horrible name. But anyway, this is something that's been really common for them. We've scrimmed them a lot the last few days, and they're always doing these double sacks, like all kind of weird situations. Like this one makes sense, obviously, because it's pushing towards last, but we actually see an instant push from Publiclir. They get a frag and the trade's off. But it's not bad for them. Mixie's back up on sniper, so there's actually no scouts on the field for dd+5abs, but with Smear going down, that's basically the pushover. I think they're just going to reset on last, and yeah, basically, Ixie's going to have a big opening here because without Smear, there's less spam, so it's basically on Ixie for the next 5 seconds or so.
He's working his way forward on that left-hand side. He's taking a couple of shots yet and not connected, but he's going to find the head of Medico and tags Atomic out of the air. And they have a significant advantage here. Now it's on to Schoberg, coming in close range with that scattergun. 2-3 frags there as he kills off Flip Amsan on Kaya. And not a single player left standing for Publiclir as that cap comes in and the game gets tied up 1-1 here.
It's a really nice sequence of play. Like I said, like Smear going down made a big opening for Ixie. Like until Smear goes down, it's actually the sniper's a disadvantage because Schoberg had just died, so there was actually no scouts on the field. But once Smear goes down, it really opens the field up. But on this mid, I'm really looking at the dd+5abs scouts because they were the two like earliest deaths of the entire mid last time, and I don't really understand how that can happen. How you can lose both scouts because it's not a mid where scouts can be aggressive and make anything really work. You should be passive and like really the last ones to die, even if you're losing the mid. So it's on them to step it up for the mids.
Yeah, they definitely don't need to be initiating the fight to try and follow up on that damage, but Amsa manages to land the close range air-to-air shot onto DD, chases him down, but actually ends up cratering there thanks to Ixie. That was bizarre. Atomic's gone down as well, but Honey Badger is going to die to Medico there, so no heals available for dd+5abs, but they do have this player advantage. They could just continue and commit here. Shappy's trying to push ahead to see if he can catch Smira on Kaya, but just won't be able to give chase there. Medico's deep behind enemy lines, and Ixie's worried that he might be spawn camping his medic here. He's trying to take this fight, but both players are so weak and just kind of gingerly dancing here. Ixie is going to be able to edge him out with a pistol and claim that frag onto Medico. So when they do push here, even though they don't have Uber advantage, they do have that man advantage. So, you know, we could see dd+5abs throwing in a few players to see if they can get Kaya to pop.
Shappy just goes down. I didn't see what he's doing, but like this is kind of the Shappy special, just dying in all sorts of weird and random situations. He comes up with some great plays at times, but he's also dying so often, and this death is really bad because pushing to Sunshine mid should be really quite difficult. Even with advantage, it's like a bit of a nasty push to make, but when there's no demo on the field, it just makes it so much easier. There's no play you can make as a demo that justifies the risk of dying and making this easy for them, and they take mid for free. They still have 30% and a pick to work with, so I'd expect to see them walk in. They're just taking choke for free. Shappy's back, he's back on the field now, but there's a good force in. That was, I don't know who that was, dd+5f.
The eponymous DD gets it, and Honey Badger has actually been isolated from his teammates. He went lower, and he ends up getting backed into the scattergun. A flip there. He and Amps combined to work that med pick, and this has gone disastrously right now for dd+5abs. Just off the back of that one misplay by Shabby, like giving away that pick led to so much carnage. On Kai has survived an assassination attempt from QNX there, and it doesn't look like dd+5abs have any more answers to this problem right now. They're going to have to face this push momentarily.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on for dd+5abs. Like, they're not setting anything up. Like, they haven't got a heavy, they're not building a gun. Like, they had all the time in the world to build a gun, and we just scrimmed them, and they had a gun every time they were holding last, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Like, they had all the, like, even when they could only get a level 1, they would still build a gun, but now they had, like, 30 seconds to play with, and no gun. I'm assuming Schoberg's at least going to spawn on heavy, so Schoberg's at least going to be heavy, but I mean, you know, this is Sunshine, man. Get a gun.
Maybe they feel the Ubers are closer than they actually are. Kaya actually has about 20% advantage here as they come in. Amps and Flip getting the flashes here. QNX surviving for a long time, but eventually goes down to those invulnerable players. Schoberg trying to put damage onto Amps, but the geometry of those barrels is going to keep him alive. We see the counter pop here from Honey, but they're already 2 down. Those spawns aren't coming up for 7 and 15 seconds respectively. This is looking pretty ropey right now. Ixie's trying his hardest to block the point, but they just can't do it. Bodies are throwing it on there. And Publiclir are going to claim another round to make it 2-1.
That was a really goofy Uber from Honey Badger. Like, I'm not sure if he was trying to save someone and he just missed it, but like, he was healthy, there was no real pressure on him, he just kind of popped as soon as he got it, and there was no chance to make anything of it. If he just held onto that, then, you know, he makes the other team come and have to force him, and then you can even out the frag situation from that force play they have to make. So a goofy pop, unnecessary I think, and probably costly, probably the reason they lost that fight.
On to middle number 4, and both teams kind of standoffish. It's going to be Medico with the high skip jump there onto Honey Badger, launches him forward. He's got QNX protecting, but they're all just standing in the same spot. And the combined spam from Medico, Amps, and Smira is enough to just nuke them there. They were vaporized, and it seems like the rest of dd+5abs are going to be dropping here slowly but surely, but they're making a fight of it. Kaya and Smira just staying strong though. Flip finds a frag onto Schoberg underneath, and it's only Shappy left alive here, and he's just chilling back in the lighthouse, man. He's giving up the ghost on middle, and it's Publiclir with the big W.
Makes me nervous watching Shappy, because I don't know, he's just so kind of unpredictable in the stuff he does. Like, he's got stickies, and I don't know, man. He's got his team around him now, so hopefully they're going to keep him in place, but he always just seems to like end up in the weirdest situations, weirdest positions. We do see Publicly walking in, taking it over for free essentially, as we should probably expect. Honey Badger on 60%, so actually I think their opportunity to push last with this is probably fading now as he reaches 70. Like, at this point again, like, there's no gun, there's no heavy, so they're kind of really playing it like risky here. I mean, sure, like, Publicly don't have time to push now, but at the time at which you'd start building that gun if you wanted to, like, you don't know that. They had the time, and they actually Uber in. They don't realize that Honey Badger's going to have it. This time he gets to pop him before anyone dies, but Shappy out of position, kind of like as I was saying. So that's not great, but I don't think they can make anything of this. There's a scout caught in deep, so 1-for-1 trade, and Shappy's down, but I mean, this should really be a
rotation here coming in from Publiclir. They just Ubered in one side, then rotated immediately and all came in, but somehow they've gotten slammed on the point. I think they thought they could just pull that one out from underneath dd+5abs, but when they were all on the point, the focus fire came in, and it was just a cloud of Gibbs there. I'm kind of surprised it went down like that. I thought it was going to be a masterful play from Kaya, but it didn't pan out.
I think it was unnecessarily risky. You're 2-1 up, you have control, like you have them on their last on Sunshine. 1-for-1 trade, and you just kind of gamble everything for a full commit play. It's not really very smart. Like, this is the playoffs, man. It's not like, it's not 3 points that are on the line. This is like, you know, your playoff dreams.
Yeah, they didn't all need to go on the point. I think like if they just bombed half the players into them and then had some people cap, but they all just stood there and they're like, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, in a 5v5 situation, they gave themselves no out. Like, it's all well and good trying to play there, but like, you actually just, within the first 2 seconds of engineering that play, you actually fully commit your entire team to it. And it just doesn't really make sense on Sunshine, because the only way you can make a reliable push out of Sunshine last is if the other team completely screws up a push and you wipe them, and that's what happened. It's like really the only reliable way you can do it.
Maybe Unkai is just feeling generous right now. Look at this high bomb from Didi. Skip jumped off the side of the lighthouse there. He was coming down with snow on his boots there, but doesn't even get a single point of damage before he was taken out. Sent back into the spawn queue, and it's that reverse pick perhaps. They're trying to bait Publiclir into a push, but they don't need to push, man. They're one round ahead here, 2-1 with 16 minutes 20 seconds still on the clock.
When DD5 spawns, we're probably going to see a double sack from him, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. Sometimes it's like, there seems to be some random guy that comes with him, but often it's a soldier and a scout, and they actually execute it reasonably well. Like, it's kind of weird, like you always see the soldier bomb coming a mile off, and it kind of like, you take it for granted that that's all it is, but then a scout's suddenly in, and it can actually be quite tricky to deal with from time to time. So here comes a soldier. Looks like the scout's actually not coming with him, it's just a soldier, but he's just jumping out. Really bad execution.
He had a nice lunge there, but just didn't quite have enough distance to get towards the medic with his trademark market gardener.
Yeah. He's probably going to try it again. I mean, they're setting up around cafe, so I'm not sure, maybe they're going to do something different. I'm not sure if this is just spam and it's the bait play while the bomb's coming in elsewhere, but looks like they're actually walking in. To be honest, looking at them, I don't think they know any more what they're going to do than I do. They're just kind of doing whatever.
Just padding those logs, guys. You know, you gotta get your stats up. Flip's gonna run forward into Cafe there and gets discouraged by that sticky from Shabby, but both teams just chilling here, full Uber, full complement of players, and it's a cookie cutter formation here, no off passing at the minute. But now we see movement from the dd+5abs combo. QNX, Shabby and Honey Badger are working their way towards Cafe. It looks like they just might want to Uber in here. They're just spamming actually, they're trying to see if they can force an error from Kaya. Those rollers just coming close to Kaya's face but not quite doing enough damage. Medic goes in from behind though. He's gonna manage to get onto Honey. Oh, Honey surfs round and Medico is dealt with. So now maybe this is just the more significant advantage they were looking for. That one man, that pick.
Well, when they were doing the spam from Cafe, dd+5ab actually whiffed another bomb. Like he did another like skip jump and failed and then just jumped out again. So it was a distraction play, but now we actually see QNX committing with his medic, taking over Patio, and they're actually getting in super deep without having to pop. This is actually a really nice push so far. I mean, we have to see where it goes. What is dd+5ab doing? dd+5ab just shows up and decides to get involved with Market Gardener. I don't know why the hell that's happening, but Uber's a traded. Smear somehow goes down, but that's a mistake all of its own. I don't think there's anything they did to force that. But all the action's in lobby at the moment. QNX going down, but full control, full position for dd+5ab. That should have been worse. Really should have been worse for them because they suddenly had an extra soldier in the trade which had no business being there. But Smear gets dropped, and that's a complete mistake on Publiclir's part. No one forced that error. Just a mistake, and they kind of gifted the second point.
Yeah, interestingly, Honey just left QNX. He was like, yeah, you're probably not going to win this fight. He just ran back to the high ground with his teammates.
Like, that's the thing though, once you get the fight inside that lobby and you have all your boys on the high ground on the patio, that's your second point basically. That's CP2. It's all about taking that control. It's really hard to chase and commit for frags, but if you get control of patio with that high ground, it's so difficult to push out or to repush.
He's playing the long game and he's waited just seconds long enough to get his charge up. So we've got 25% advantage here, which is 10 seconds to work with here, but they're very slow about pushing forward with Ixie being down already, and here comes the attempted force from Amps. Doesn't bear any fruit. Ixie is about to respawn
on Sniper,
and they're gonna have 15 seconds before Amps gets back on the field.
Yeah, Ixie going down wasn't a mistake. He was just sacking for Sniper, so they never intended to use this small advantage, and I can't really blame them, to be honest. I mean, as it happens, Publiclir don't have any kind of setup. They just have two scouts. Well, they have a setup, but they don't have any kind of turtle setup. They don't have heavies guns. But the default expectation for dd+5abs is that they will, and there's no point to try and use a 20% advantage. So they just go for the sniper sack, basically.
Amps has just gone spy there. He checked the medic setup and he checked the sniper, so they were aware Ixie was sniping, but it didn't matter. Atomic just goes in and gets his man there. Ixie's slain close range by that scattergun, and it's 5 versus 5 here. Still both teams in control of an Uber charge, but neither team really willing to use it right now. It's 2-1 to Publiclir. If you've just joined us, this is Teamfortress TV. I'm Admirable. I got Kaidus with me and DavidTheWin on the camera, and this is the first round of the ETF2L Season 23 powered by TT Esports Premiership playoffs. dd+5abs finished third, and they're acting here as the guardians for Publiclir. We want to step ahead into that semi-final where Perilous Gaming wait, but right now things just slowing down. But DD manages to get in, gets a pick onto Smira, gets that Demo Man pick somehow. Ixie has gone down as well. Was briefly playing Scout. I assume he's going to come back as Sniper. I don't even know anymore games.
Yeah, this was a double sack. They both just went in from lower. Kaya was really well positioned by the spawn door, so they basically, as soon as they got in, they saw they couldn't get Kaya. They trade Smear, which means that's a decent frag to get. It means they can't try and push out, and like you say, Ixie's back on Sniper now. So this is basically the two tools they have in stalemate. It's the double sack or the Sniper play from Ixie. And Ixie's actually been really good at Sniper lately. Like the Viaduct match he played, he was just hitting things not. I don't know, it's kind of like Flippy level of crazy, but really consistent. He'll get frags almost every time he goes Sniper. Obviously not the last time because he died instantly, but if he gets the chance to take shots, he's going to hit them more often than not.
Peeking his way in here from the left. You can see the outline of this medic, clearly hacking. I saw that. He gets launched up, sees the soldier briefly, but can't connect to the headshot. I mean, Publiclir are very aware that he's here. They see the kind of blind spam pipes coming in there from Smira, and that's enough. Ixie's been discouraged. He's going to switch it up to the right hand side here. Gets a soldier in his sights, well, he can land the body shot there, but Medico's going to make it into spawn. And we're going to see this counter sniper coming out from Atomic here, but where is he looking at right now? They're both looking at different sides. Atomic's working his way forward into the lobby very aggressively. Headshot rings out, but it's Ams who gets fragged.
I think Ixie's at least learned there's a sniper now. I don't think, until that moment, I don't think he actually knew there was an enemy sniper. And what the Honey Badger just pops trying to save his pocket, who's in a dire situation. Like, that's such a bad Uber. And Kai's actually getting forced now. That's another garbage Uber as well. He was 150 HP. Whoever he was trying to save, it's not worth it. That Uber's never really going to be worth anything. He could easily have saved that. So, 2 garbage pops, one after the other. I'd say Honey Badger's was probably worse, but, like, yeah, pretty bad medicing.
There is a little bit of action going on, kind of behind the lines there. dd was caught in, but flipping Atomic going to take him out. Ixie onto Smira though, still rocking that scope. And with Medico and Smira down at the minute, it's going to be kind of free admission onto the Lighthouse platform here for dd+5abs. Medico is coming back into the fray though. He's got a little buff here from Kaya, but Kaya seems to be calling the troops back. They've got Atomic underneath. He's just circling around. He doesn't even go in. He's just going to run out there, decides to stay alive. They want 6 up on last. They know they're behind in terms of the Uber stakes. And I think Onkaya is just corralling his troops. He's got 6 here. He knows he can hold on if he can just buy a little bit of time. And it looks like Honey Badger might have waited too long to really use this Uber advantage. And Kaya plus Smira and Atomic, they're just holding close on that right hand side. There they have Amster hiding just behind the barrels. And Ixie can't really find the shot here. He's not being too effective at the minute.
Yeah, like, again, just to point it out, like that 20-30% Uber advantage they had, when you're talking Sunshine last, I think for most teams, at least in Europe, it's basically, they don't consider that an Uber advantage that's worth using. So you pretty much never see, other than in desperate situations, a team trying to utilize that. They'll always just let it be a stalemate and try and engineer an advantage from that stalemate. And speaking of an advantage, Ixie just actually got a pick on Atomic and hit another headshot, which is actually going to prompt the push.
We see that Uber being popped off earlier by Honey. He is going to be able to escape just with the dregs of it right there, but Onkaya having popped off, sends Amps over to the left hand side. They're looking for frags here, and frags they have found with Ixie and QNX going down late into that Uber trade. Shappy is committed deep here, somehow does enough to scare Flip off, but nobody really takes advantage of his being out of position. Shappy's able to just walk back to middle here, and it looks like Publiclir are just happy to take back control of that lighthouse, but for a second I thought it was going to be demo down again.
Yeah, that push was actually really close to going the other way. QNX got in deep, he had a nice amount of HP and singled out Smear, but just couldn't quite get the frag, and in the end got fragged himself, and that was the deciding factor in the end. If that frag had gone the other way, it would have opened everything up, but not on this occasion. So now we're going to see a different stalemate, James. We're going to see the mid to second stalemate, which is actually, of all the Sunshine stalemates, it's probably my personal favourite.
I know you're a president of the Sunshine fan club, but right now the setup here is once again cookie cutter. We don't see any snipers on the field, so it's probably going to be up to the soldiers to make that initial play. DD's just perched up here like a proud eagle on top of that little fence there around flowers, but does get knocked off his perch. And with the rocket takes the kit and is now getting a buff. Is this the setup? DD is getting ready to launch. Kind of whiffs his intended jump, but he's going to come in and follow up here with QNX. He gets the drop onto Kaya there. Kaya thought it was just the one soldier, didn't see that double threat, and now we have a game on our hands.
Even though he gets the drop there, just going to point out that's in terms of mid to second sack attempts by dd+5f. The last 3 attempts, he's 0 for 3 for successful jumps, but this time he manages to, with the help of QNX, actually get in deep enough to shoot a rocket at the medic, which is always a desirable aspect of a suicide play. Yeah, Shappy actually cleaning up several frags as Publiclir try to even the situation out, but now the Uber's forced, Ams goes down for it. But I mean, Uber's going to be pretty much even again, they retake second, so, you know, not bad at the end of the day.
They have still kept it a 1-round game, 6 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock here in this first map of what is a best of 3, guys. Sunshine will be followed by Snakewater and then Product if required, but right now we're going to see Honey Badger and Shappy trying to create some space on the right hand side. A timely bomb forward there from Medico just sends them packing, but they're just going to switch it up to the left hand side, take advantage of that med pack and start trying to work the angle here. There's a sticky trap waiting just beyond that doorway though from Smira, and I think Shappy knows it, so they're going to go back to this right hand side. They just keep switching it up, see if they can find someone slightly out of position. They're trying to dole out the buffs here. The clock is ticking down against them though. This is a losing position for them right now. They need to get at least 1 round.
I was going to say, they're getting into dangerous territory now, because this is reaching the point now where if you're Publiclir, you're not pushing off last for anything other than a full wipe. Like, you're not going to, well, at least I wouldn't, and I really hope they don't.
Oh, denied! He's gone in though, he's in onto Kaya. QNX with the follow-up. Oh, Kaya just pops off anyway. I'm not entirely sure why. I think he thought QNX was going to shoot him, but QNX rocket didn't even go anywhere near the medic. Kaya pops. And David says that Kaya walked towards him.
Yeah, it looked like he did.
So now the counter pop comes off though, way out of position, like all the way back on second. And dd+5abs are trying to go forward here. Publiclir have turned into a really scrappy fight and it's buying them so much time here. Goes down to Honey Badger's Crusader's crossbow. He's indeed going ham, he's found 3 frags here, he's going to find a 4th on the Smira. Medico's trying his hardest to deny this, and now it's all on Atomic, but checkmate, says QNX. He just steps onto the point with his shotgun out and claims that cap. Pandemonium, Kaidus.
Yeah, so well played to Ixie, like, you know, 4K's a 4K, can't fault that, but I don't, like, I was just saying, before that entire sequence of play began, that Publiclir weren't going to push out for anything other than a full wipe. And what's the next thing they do? But it's, with 2 picks, they completely commit bodies to second, and just put themselves in a completely unmanageable situation. If they just got their spawns, held with 6, built a gun, got a heavy, like, 90% odds are Publiclir, oh sorry, dd+5abs fucked that push up. But nope, 2-2 game, so 4 minutes remaining and we've got a really close game.
Maybe the nerves are starting to settle here for dd+5abs. They've tied the game up 2-2. We're on the middle, number 5, less than 4 minutes remaining. Ams is super weak on the right hand side, they're trying to chase him down. But he's just baiting these chasers into his waiting teammates, and 4 frags come in a flurry. Honey Badger realises the writing's on the wall, he starts to back out, but they're in hot pursuit of him already. He's got 3 in his face, hit that kill bind. He's going to just die to Atomic Scattergun though. And that's a complete wipe. OMG.
Yeah, but the one saving grace is that Atomic committed to the chase, so there's no cap time on mid, which means they're going to get spawns. Ixie's going engineer, and he's going to have time to get that gun up because Atomic chased. I don't think Atomic had to chase there. I think they already had Smear and a Soldier. Smear locked Honey Badger into second. Soldier's the guy there guaranteeing the frag, so I mean, you can't really blame them. It's a fast situation, but if Atomic had sat on that cap, they'd have such an easy push to last right now. There'd be no gun, there'd be no buffed heavy, Honey Badger wouldn't have his spawn. dd+5, bloody hate this name, dd+5abs have every chance of holding this.
Uber coming in left hand side, they're going to bring in Atomic, Amps and on Kaya, the big damage dealers, but they're yet to find a frag. The gun doing work, the heavy just hiding in between the little gap there, tanking so much damage. DD does go down eventually, but Amps immediately joins him in that spawn queue. It's 5 on 5 here. But Honey has the luxury of these bubbles. They could try and use this and pick a fight, but no, they're just getting shredded here, and they stepped away from the point with that slow heavy class. They just gifted that one. Oh, on Kaya with the superior. Kaya was down actually, what am I even talking about? It was just Smira, Flip, and Atomic that went in and made it happen. What?
Yeah, they gave away too much position, I felt like. Like, they had so much tank, like they had the gun, they had the heavy, they had the Vax, but they all just kind of cornered themselves off on the left, and once the Uber faded, they never used, like, their superior ammo and things like that to retake position, so they actually just got slowly chipped away at. But I mean, excellent round by Publiclir, so it's all on dd+5abs now to make things happen. 2 minutes remain.
DD's behind right now. He's being spotted out though by Medico. He's landing some fat rockets. Might be able to connect one more. Medico's just edged back there, but meanwhile, in the mid fight, Smira and Onkaya are backing out. DD's in onto Kaya, gets the med pick. Honey Badger's still alive at the minute, but they're kind of they've got Flip behind. Honey's not sure where to go. Honey goes back to Cap alone, and he's left his teammates to push forward. This might have been a poor choice. Flip versus Honey Badger in middle. Honey trying to frag the French scout, but just can't do it. QNX realises that they've become disconnected, comes back, but it's too late. So all that hard work from DD to get the on-Kaya pick was for naught.
Like, what the hell was Shappy doing? Like 10 seconds after Kaya's dead, I just see him like sticky jumping through second and just dying. Like he gets a pipe on a soldier and then just dies. Like what the hell was that, man? That was so bad. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed something that justified it, but like that was awful. Because Kaya died so early, they had so much time to regroup and play that smart. But no, they actually just threw their entire opportunity away. There's 50 seconds left, and it's going to take something pretty hefty to actually take mid, second, and first in 45 seconds.
QNX jumping forward. DD perhaps going to follow up. He's just spamming to the left here. Oh, Ams gets in onto Hani though. DD does avenge his full medic with an air shot, but it doesn't matter. There's still 4 players up for Publiclir, including on Kaya, and it's only DD left alive. He's going to continue to pad his stats. He launches Kaya up here, but can't get the fatal shot as Smear denies him with a pipe to the face there. But That was crazy. I mean, like, going back to that mid part, are they actually going to block this? Oh, QNX is in from the spawn, so is Xy. They're going to save a little bit of face here, but there's just not enough time for them to get back into the game. But like,
Are you getting hyped for garbage time? What are you doing, man?
that mid fight or that previous engagement, I just feel like if Honey had like, maybe he didn't agree with QNX and Shabby continuing to push there, but if he just committed himself, it probably would have ended so badly. But his decision to go back and cap middle, like, if they'd done something together, no matter if it was push or hold, like,
Yeah.
it would have been different.
Yeah, like, I mean, it was a complete mess. I mean, nerves, 2 minutes remaining, like, basically like rookies here, you know what I mean? You think at the start of the season, I tell you dd+5abs, whatever they're called, we're going to be in this match, you'd probably laugh at me, so, you know, they're probably not in comfortable territory at the moment, so I think they can be let off, but yeah, pretty horrible play, to be honest. But this was Publiclir's map. It was incredibly close. Like I was kind of saying before the game, that I think I'm just going to call them abs. I'm calling them abs from now on. The abs, we're going to crush them.
Did you say my name?
Yeah, I thought that like abs, dd+5abs were going to crush them. And they played really close on Publiclir's map. And they're definitely significantly worse at Sunshine than they are other maps. So I think, you know, they'll be alright with this. I think it kind of, I'd say they have every chance of still winning this match, but obviously the pressure's on now because they don't have any safety net. They lose a map, they're out. But I'm pretty sure they can do it on the next maps.
We flipped up the logs here. I'm not sure if we're going to bring in the panel again. Maybe we could. Let's take a quick look at them anyway. I'll let David decide what he wants to do there. But top damaging is our boy AMS, the kid they call Amps, with 292, and Smira actually right behind him there. Smira can be a bit hot and cold at times, but he's definitely shown up and had an impact on this map. And like, I was hyping Shabby up in the preview article a little bit, but he really didn't show up here. Like, you were really scratching your head at some points, Kaidus. He ends up 9 for 7 for 10 there, like a real gulf between these demo men performances.
Yeah, this is like a classic pressure's on, non-committal kind of demo performance, where you don't get many frags, you don't die that often, but you die in weird situations. Like, I've had these performances myself. I don't tend to have them anymore, but I kind of like looking at these logs. Like, I know these logs from experience, and you just kind of, you spend the whole game kind of like not really doing anything, not really figuring out how to find your feet. And yeah, I think Shappy will be disappointed with that one, because even though he makes these weird mistakes and dies in weird situations, normally he'll trade when he dies in a weird situation. 1 in 3 of those situations, he'll do something crazy, and you know, it'll actually be worth it. But yeah, really not performing that great.
Backed by unpopular demand, we do have our panel, CommanderX, Dr. Phil, and WARHURYEAH.
Hi guys.
Hello.
That was such a messy map. It was either really slow or really messy. I guess a lot like you said, Kaidus, just random, basically, the outcome.
Yeah, no one's good at Sunshine. No one controls the game. No one like has a plan for every situation. There's too many situations on that map where you just got to ride the waves, basically. Like last, you just have to kind of get in, make it messy, and hope that the fucking dominoes fall your way. There's really nothing you can do to control these situations. At least that's how I feel.
I think there was a period where dd+5abs, when it was 2-1 to Publiclir, like after sort of the messiness settled down, and they had control of either mid and CP4 for I think a solid sort of 9 or 10 minutes before finally converting it into a round. And then once they do that, they lose a round straight back off the back of mid on the very next, like, you know, within the next couple of minutes. And then from that point, when you're behind on Sunshine and you're running out of time, it's so hard to get anything done. And I think you saw that on the next mid where dd+5abs just made it super messy.
Yep.
And they just ended in a DM fest, and they sort of won it, or, you know, at least drew it, but it was not enough to get the momentum to go forward. And just a real lack of creativity, I think, is what lost it for dd+5 friends now, like in those stalemate situations.
Like, nothing tells you a map is bad, like when a team has a chance to push last and you just feel no, like, fear. Like, no, you don't actually feel like they're ever going to make it work. And it's like for both teams, it's not like one team's bad, but it's just kind of like when you get to last and you're behind, there is no situation other than having half the team dead as you're entering the last. There is no situation where I'd watch and feel like, yeah, they're probably going to take a round here. Like even with Uber advantage, like there was like some Uber advantage pushes that were successful, but they're like 50-50, like at best, you know. There's like once you are behind and you know there's less than half the game left, it's such a bad situation to find yourselves in.
It's so weird because at the time when they were slowing it down, I was saying to Phil, I was kind of like, I don't like what they're doing because it's kind of boring to watch. But like they were slowly but surely, they got hold of CP2. Then they seemed to be taking like a methodical approach to last, and I was like, 17 minutes, 50 minutes left on the clock. They got time to work with to get this one round back. But then when we were in that position, there was just nothing they could find. Yeah.
They did nothing, even with the sniper. Like the sniper got no picks whatsoever. Like I think I said to Six, they did try that again, like the double soldier sack. Just sit out on CP2 with the dim 1 scouts.
Yeah,
They ended up doing it at the end,
right
and it
at the
worked.
end, yeah, they got a force, but then it was like their 8th or 10th attempt at trying to make something work on last. And if you're taking that many attempts to even try and start a push on last, you're always going to run out of time on the clock.
The big stat that stood out for me, looking at the sort of team head-to-heads there, was it was 5 mids to 1 in favour of Publiclir. Maybe that's part of the reason they chose this map. They were confident on those mid fights, but do you think it was just coming down to nerves here? Like, I know you guys said in the pre-show that you thought, like, oh, there's no money at stake. This game isn't that important. People don't care in Europe, but still, a lot of these players are coming here. They're in this kind of playoff situation for the first time. Does it feel to you like the dd+5abs side are just a little bit too nervous? They're not playing to their full potential, or haven't practiced enough? Sunshine wasn't their map?
Not with, I think like Ixie and dd+5f himself like had some huge moments in that game. Like, you know, I didn't think they were playing like they were nervous. I think they were playing like a team that didn't really know what to do on the map. Like, I don't know if that made them nervous or just made them unsure of what to do, but in those stalemate situations, it didn't seem like anyone was the guy saying, I've got an idea, let's do this, or I know what I want to do, I want to sack, or, you know. No one seemed to be taking that initiative.
I think it's like, you're not wrong in saying that, but I think it's kind of harsh to really fixate on that too much, because like James said, like 5 to 1 mids on Sunshine is pretty devastating, because no matter how creative or how many ideas you've got, there's not really that many ideas that actually reliably work in breaking stalemates on Sunshine. If you're losing the mids, then you're losing the mids, and it's a really, really tough battle back from there. But I don't think it's all down to nerves. I think they actually are not very good at the mids on that map. And on Snake War, we're probably going to see a different story, because they actually are really, really comfortable on these mids. Like, they like to play quite passive. They don't like to like go in deep, but they really, really like keep a good amount of control like on the mids. And I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable here, and they're going to win the lion's share of the mids, and it's going to make it a completely different game. And like I say, just to go back to Sunshine, I don't think it's nerves that made them bad at the mids. I just think, like, I mean, from scrimming them, we scrimmed them on Sunshine and Snake today. And it was kind of like black and white on the mids. On Snake, we found it quite difficult to win mids against them, but on Sunshine, it was quite simple.
Okay then, looks like we are going live again. Goodbye to the panel, back in your box. This is Admirable with Kaidus, DavidTheWin on the camera. It's ETF2L Season 23, powered by TT Esports. The Premiership Playoffs, Round 1, dd+5abs versus Publiclir, Map 2, Snake War. Let's go, Kaidus. Who do we want to see?
I'm going to watch Shappy, because, like I say, they keep a good amount of control on these mids, and he's a big part of that. Like, he controls the point, but he actually whiffs his rollout and has been pressured really far back. Instant bomb from one of the soldiers, and Shappy's down so low and actually not having that much impact. But dd+5f finds Kaya, but I mean, the fight's so scattered. Normally you'd say that pick is just an opportunity to play it safe and play it controlled, but the fight's so stretched and messy that Publiclir are actually finding the lion's share of the frags at the end of the day.
Ams coming in, using that distraction of Flip. Both scouts chased down Flip there. Nobody was looking for the other player. And Ams came in and had the backs, and QNX comes in and actually kind of trades with Ams there without really connecting a shot. Just hit the one to launch him in the air, and it's gravity that does the work for QNX. We had an interesting piece of trivia there. The only reason he's playing TF2 this season is because his girlfriend is in India. I'm thankful for that, Kaidus.
Dude, QNX?
Yes.
Ah, it's not bad, is it?
Otherwise, he would be whipped. Sorry, we're not allowed to say that. Sorry, Stefan. Didn't mean to trigger you. But, oh, shots fired. Bring back the Raptor thread, please, boys. We're going off the rails. Right now, though, still 0-0. 28 minutes, 30 seconds left in this map. We've barely started, but it is one round up in the series, one map up in the series for Publiclir. And dd+5abs are just trying to regain their composure here. People had been all aboard their hype train, you included, Kaidus, but the wheels came off on map 1. Now they're just trying to, you know, put them back on, literally and figuratively, as they stand on the train here.
Yeah, well, like I say, Sunshine's not their map, Snake is their map. The first mid didn't go well, but like I don't know, I think there was a touch of nerves in that first mid. Like Shappy whiffed his rollout, he hit the ceiling on Cheese as he jumped through there, but I'm a little bit disappointed that Publiclir are going for the sniper here, because the one main weakness I've seen of dd+5abs on this map is their second hold. It's actually quite easy to win fights with spam against them, like pressuring from the window and left simultaneously. Whereas the sniper, you're really like, I don't know, you're really dependent on a big mistake happening for Atomic to make anything, like to make a significant impact here. But they're leaving him a lot of room, which is kind of odd. So he's actually gonna be able to get shots off.
He is up at the window right now. Classic sniper spot here on Snakewater. Just having a good old look around. I can't even see any outlines in his scope, but they're all kind of right below him. Flip goes down. He was prodding it into that lower lobby area, but paid the price. And eventually someone walks into Atomic's crosshair and it's going to be Ixie. Will he now go sniper? That will be the interesting point. Resident sleeper. Oh my god. Snipers already, and we're only 3 minutes into the map.
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back a sniper, but yeah, he is going to. So that's going to be a tasty battle to watch, I guess. I don't know, it's Atomic. I've never like rated Atomic that highly on sniper, but I guess when you have control, you kind of have the freedom to have a mediocre sniper take a lot of shots and hope that one hits, because like I say, they have full control, but I don't think it's the best decision for them. Like, Flip's died for the second time now, which is going to be really annoying for Atomic, because it just means he has to play defensive. But I really think they'd have a better chance of making this work with spam. Like, playing a spam fight. dd+5abs in deep is pretty standard, doesn't make it work, and the combo's actually committed. Why? I don't understand this play, it doesn't make any sense. They throw a body in first, die, and then trade Uber. Like, that doesn't make any sense, it's a really bad decision. Now they're 2 down, both soldiers are in deep, they're flanked actually, they're completely sandwiching dd+5abs.
Oh, but they're almost too fast, like they're way ahead of the combo there. Smira and Kai actually coming in lower. And now QNX is in onto Kai, but Smira turns round, issues him a ticket to the pain train, and Onkaya lives to tell the tale. But like you say, that, or it could have been a different story there, like with both soldiers jumping forward like that.
Yeah, like if the combo had pushed left as the soldiers jumped from right, it would have been great. But the medic and Nemo were coming from grass, so they just kind of
they made it work anyway.
Yeah, they got second, but I mean, really, there was a big opportunity, a big opening
for a
there.
wipe.
Yeah, exactly. But just going back to the push that 5abs made, like what? Like what the hell was that? Like, if you want to trade there, then alright, go for it. It's a bit ballsy. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but it at least makes sense. But to sack a roamer and then go for it, to make it a trap kill on Shappy as they try and contest here, and I don't really know why they're trying to contest, but they get the force. But Honey Badger doesn't actually have Uber. He's completely isolated. Oh my god, this is dog shit play. What the hell are they doing? They just push on nothing. Like, they leave their medic on 90. That's just pure garbage. Pure garbage, James.
You know what they got to do? So they got balls, kid. They're in there. They're like, we're going to make it happen. They force the Uber, and then they're like, uh-oh, what do we do now? They're getting steamrolled on to last. Shabby gets plugged out of the air.
They got balls, but like, even fucking Jesus needed water to make wine, man. He couldn't make it out of nothing. Like, what the hell was that? They just walk in dry, like, fucking nonsense.
Honey Badger making his Prem debut here with this team main caller, like, with no Prem experience coming in here. Maybe things are starting to change, or the tide is turning here for him, but that remains to be seen. It is 1-0 though, still 24 minutes 20 seconds on the clock here on map number 2. But dd+5abs need a win here to tie the series up. Right now QNX is looking to jump top, but kind of gets knocked off. No one really wants to commit forward as DD and Medico take a roamer battle in the kitchen and both end up dying. Sjoberg gets gunned down by Ams though, and it's slightly favouring Publiclir here. Their health is decent, they have that man advantage, but Ams just walks into the combined fire there of QNX and Ixie, goes down in an instant, but the scouts are able to walk forward on that distraction as everybody's reloading. They have to just retreat here, play around the hills, play around Honey Badger. Both medics have Uber right now, but it is middle going to Publiclir.
Yeah, I mean, I again watched Shappy on this mid, and this isn't the Shappy I've seen in scrims, man. I don't feel like he's performing at all at the moment. He's not like delivering the damage he normally does. Normally he makes it so difficult to actually push across the point, and kind of you have to put a lot of emphasis. Like, I always feel like the soldiers for DD5 do a good job controlling top. So then, like, it's like I feel it's my job. Like, you have to really put a lot of emphasis on taking control of the point. And against Shappy, it can be quite difficult. It's like one of his strengths. Like I've mentioned his weaknesses a lot, but normally that's one of his strengths. But he's pushed back. He's always red health. He's never buffed, never healthy, and never really in the fight. And it's just making it too comfortable for Publiclir at the moment.
In that map elimination process, it was Shappy and Smira calling the shots, or at least delivering the messages from their team. So you have to imagine that this was a map that Shappy himself wanted to play on, this being DD's first pick, product being the second, the tiebreaker. But
yeah,
they have to win this one. And like you say, Shappy has had a false start, especially on Sunshine, but it hasn't seemed to have beat it yet.
It's worth pointing out, like, we were scrimming them, like, last week when we still had week 7 to play. We were scrimming them while they were prepping for playoffs, like between their Lego match and our match with Full Tilt, and they wanted to practice Snake every day. So they knew they were playing Snake for a long time. This is the map they feel comfortable on. They definitely, like, you know, from scrimming them as well, like, I saw why. Like, they were really strong on it. Like, I think we even lost it today, actually. I mean, we had a Merc and stuff, but, like, you know, they're really comfortable on this map usually, so it's weird to see. But Publiclir are actually working on that frag they have and position themselves on grass. They have a lot of space.
Uh-oh, Atomic has ghosted all the way in behind. Nobody's looking behind. Nobody's even suspecting he's there. Or are they? Somehow DD manages to catch him out there. Atomic goes down. Meanwhile, Amps has gone down. Uber has been popped off, though, by Honey Badger, but they didn't manage to get that force out of Onkaya. He's sitting pretty on middle here with 4 players around him. And what will the option select be here from dd+5abs?
They're all
shooting.
Doing?
Why is Honey shooting arrows there?
Like, they're 2 down and DD5F is standing on the point rocketing stickies around. Like here's your fucking time, bro. They're 2 down, you're the roamer, get in and roam. He's literally like, his teammate even contesting choke and he stood on the point kind of clearing stickies with rockets.
He gets it anyway. He was waiting for his moment. Get schooled, Kaidus.
But I mean, but now it's different because now they're 2 down and they actually give an opening, whereas before Publiclir were 2 down and he could die and get the if he gets the force grade
middle instead of second.
Exactly, it would be such a better situation. And now that they're in deep on right, they have position Publiclir and they're still 2 down. They're contesting the point. Honeybad is 98%. He might just get it in time. No, yes he does. So close. But I mean, they kind of have to turn frags with this, so it's going to be still not a great situation. But I mean, they're getting their respawn waves now. They're going to stabilize. It's 23% for Kaya, so they've actually come out of this okay when you look at where they were 10 seconds ago.
QNX is getting a little antsy there. He was pushing ahead, doing big damage to Medico, but nobody was there to follow up. Like, that could have been a frag that could have snowballed for them, but they've just decided to opt for the kind of stalemate here, and that's not a good look, because Onkaya is like 30% ahead of them in the Uber battle, and I'm sure he knows that. He's just sitting back patiently building. They have just a straight up cookie cutter formation here. On the other side, our defenders have a Schoberg heavy. And I thought they had a sniper briefly, but it seems like just Schoberg on heavy. They're building furiously as well. Onkai is already ready to execute from underneath. Looks like they're going to pop in. Smira jumps forward. He's taking a lot of damage from rockets and heavy fire, but they have managed to close the distance, and they do kill off Schoberg. But Smira goes down, so no Demoman as this fight reaches the later stages. Kaya, Medico, and Atomic are committed deep on the right. Somehow Medico's surviving. Beyond expectations here. They've managed to find enough frags just to leave Shappy standing. They're going to walk onto the point, force him to come to him, and he just can't do anything there. It's 2-0.
That was weird, because QNX, I was going to say QNX did so well. Like, he completely isolated Smith from within the Uber, jogged him away from it, chased him down, got the frag, and then wins a 1v1 with a scout. And in that time, 5abs didn't actually give away many frags, so I thought that QNX had kind of got them out of that situation. But yeah, Atomic, 4K, big gaming. But these mids, I mean, I really want to see more from Shappy and his boys, because this is their bread and butter. Snake Quarter mid, this is kind of what made me confident in them, but so far they've shown me nothing. But this time, so much presence on the point. Shappy gets a frag on Atomic. He's decided to wake up and play, apparently. 3 down, no one dies for 5abs, and this is the 5abs I was talking about in the pre-game.
Where's the pressure on the Shappy there? Like, you know, I'm not a Premiership demo man, but why is he just able to walk forward there and spam that scout down? What's Publiclir's strategy for dealing with him, or making it difficult for him at least?
Not entirely sure. I mean, up till now it's been a lot of soldier pressure. Like, there was often like an early bomb from AMS, or was it Medico? I can never tell. They both play like morons. But but like, yeah, normally there's a big like an early jump and jumps out, and that was kind of what was pressuring Shappy early on, and that wasn't here this time. And I think maybe Publiclir were just kind of used to there being so much soldier pressure on him that when it wasn't there, they felt complacent and weren't ready for it. But I didn't actually get a good eye on it, so that's just theory crafting.
Alright, and the Sky David says that the pick came in too late, but like as soon as he got that scout pick, it was going to be magnifying the power of his soldiers. Things just slipped away from there, but right now dd+5abs have their first real chance to execute here. But immediately Flip reminds them that he's playing sniper with a headshot. We see Sentry of Atomic being repositioned slightly. Interesting spot, can't be spammed from the far side, but covers that roller door. And they have the Heavy there and Onkaya playing Medic. It's just full turtle mode here as Publiclir decide that they want to sit back and defend their 2 lead, and I think they're perfectly entitled to.
So, pretty nice setup they have. I mean, any sack attempt is going to fail, but kind of disappointed Ixie didn't come back on... Oh, Ixie did come back on Sniper. He was a scout for ages. I think he thought about it. They were having a discussion, and he actually ended up coming back on Sniper. And with this setup, he's actually going to be potentially able to find room. I mean, the gun's kind of covering top right, but oh, he's dead instantly, never mind.
Look at this setup here. They got Medico kind of on the tower on the right, like with the bait stickies up there, so they're hoping that, you know, dd+5abs see Medico and say, we can pick this guy, jump up and get crushed, but that could be enough to push out on it if Onkaya even deign to, but right now Flip holding super close underneath. Just watching that lower angle, hoping that someone is going to peek under. Ixie hasn't come back on Sniper. There's no Sniper here for dd+5abs, but they are getting ready to execute some kind of push here. Buff's being pushed out. They see Medico up there. The stickies actually get launched away by the rocket from DD and don't claim a victim. So they've got control here of this left-hand side case, and they're just able to spam away here. This is a good entrance for them.
Yeah, this is not bad at all. The gun goes down, there's presence on the point. They do get a kind of early pop, but I mean, it's traded out pretty evenly. Showboat's weak. The health is actually not great on the scouts. In fact, the health is actually entering dangerous territory for them. I would probably back out if I were them. They're staying too long. This is going to get ugly for them if they don't leave now. Ixie's caught in, but Ixie actually just gets 2 frags. How the hell does he pull that off? He can actually get a third. No, not quite, but I mean, he's completely salvaged that for them. That was looking dreadful. Like, they might actually get severely punished. Oh my god.
Straight over the tower there. And lands into the face of Onkaya. The damage output not enough there from the Heavy to secure his Medic. Flip does find Shabby, and Atomic's just gonna run straight forward here. They're shredding the combo. QNX goes down. Honey's here, but he's being joined by Schoberg. The health isn't enough though, as Flip and Atomic just take turns at beating lumps out of these dd+5abs players.
I'm just on Heavy on Choke at the moment. Why is he doing that?
The Fat Scout.
Like, they don't see him, he's hiding in the corner. They have no idea. Oh no, please.
Oh, QNX is gonna see him. He's calling, there's a Heavy behind. They're like, what? Repeat, come again.
Yeah, but now they have 100%, at least, well, 1 down, 2 down as they enter, but 1 down still, so 65 fully. But if they just find a frag, the point's open for focus as well. This is a nice entrance for the Mixie on the point. Gets a frag. They should really close this out and take their first round, and yep, it's going to be the case. I don't know what the hell Ams was doing there, but I mean, it almost kind of could have worked, but how he ended up in a situation where he had to make that play, only Ams could find his way there.
Onkaya needs to be issuing a verbal beatdown right now on Mumble. Like, what were they doing? Like, both the scouts did well to chase hard for those frags, but maybe it would have been better served to just get the cap. Then Am's wandering around as Heavy aimlessly gifted them that round, and dd+5abs are back in the game, guys. So we're on the Shabby cam on middle. I see again is the aggressor walking forward here. He's trying to focus down his opposite number though, rather than look for that scout pick. And the heals are being put onto Demoman. He tries to walk forward, but he's being pressured hard this time. Medico goes down though, beat it out, and Ixie finds one. QNX onto Medico, and Schoberg onto Amster. Just a team effort coming up from dd+5abs. They seem to have found some momentum in these mid fights.
Shabby's in dangerous territory. Needs to make sure he doesn't die. Okay, it's alright. They're gonna get second. They had a chance to chase Kaya, but yeah, I mean, they're coming back into the game now. This is the dd+5abs that I was talking about. Yeah, Kaya does well to get out. I mean, he kind of almost got caught out there because he was with a scout who got just completely pummeled by dd+5f, but manages to sleuth his way. So another stalemate. dd+5f spawning on Spy, so they're at least bringing something new to the table. They haven't. I don't think I've seen them play a Spy all game, so they might actually catch Kaya unawares here.
He just likes these cheap one-hit melee weapons. Disgusting. He is gonna work his way in underneath, and is of course rocking that cloak and dagger. He's gonna sit and charge up his charge meter here. He's chilling in the undergrowth, gonna slowly but surely work his way up towards the point. He seems to be going for walking in underneath through the broken area, now all the way behind at the tank. He's probably going to need a little bit of a audio distraction here to uncloak, and now the heavy starts shooting. He knows it's safe, he's walking forward, but on Kaya, Highlander Pro, he always checks his back, and DD is going to be undone.
He was 27 health with rollers on his feet. That was really, really close. Well, I mean, I think Kaya would have been a bit mad at his team there, because, I mean, it was like 3 butter knives before anyone reacted. He had to, like, surf the knife and actually not die.
It's kind of a weird situation, Medic, because you always want to be healing your teammates. You're assuming they're going to kill him, but maybe he should have just whipped out his own arsenal there. Gone Ubersaw versus knife, but he doesn't get forced. And on the respawn, DD is going to go roamer. He at least got the intel of where they were standing 30 seconds ago. He's going to skip jump in here to the truck. He's drawn the eyes of Medico, and QNX jumps in onto Flip there. That was nice distraction play, and they get themselves a frag for their efforts. Ixie's going to start edging towards the point here. Shappy's putting stickies down to try and create some cover. They actually get the force out. Medico pokes out there from the spawn, and the pop comes out from Honey Badger. He's going to send QNX in onto that high ground. He's trying to pump out the damage here. It's just carnage on the point though, and Onkai is forced to go into the point there along with Amps and Flip, and they're just cleaned up one after the other, and this has been a sea change here. As dd+5abs find 2 rounds back to back.
Yeah, that was legit as well. Like, the entry was super nice. I mean, questions kind of have to be raised about how Publiclir dealt with it once they took over right. I mean, really what you want to see there is just like a solo Uber basically into them, because they're clustered on the left. If you take the Uber into them, it's going to be a lot better, but they end up getting forced on a heavy in no man's land, which means they can't make anything from it other than like kind of like a late force. So, but yeah, really nice play from 5abs.
Bamboozled those Frenchies on the flank, but right now onto this mid number 5. 11 minutes 30 on the clock. DD's in onto Kaya, gets 1 rocket, 2 rockets, has time to reload another. Kaya's furious. Where are his teammates? But it doesn't matter, because the rest of DD's teammates have been slain. Only he and Honey Badger remain alive, and they are stuck on opposite sides of the middle and the map. Medico's trying to chase ahead for Honey Badger, but he realizes it's just too much distance to cover. But DD is in deep there. He might spawn camp on Kaya. This would be painful. Kaya spawns forward, he's looking around, he's calling for help. DD's looking the wrong way. DD! Do you understand this map,
what
mate?
is he doing? Oh, so bad. And Honey Badger's dead in the meantime? What the fuck?
Oh, we were watching the wrong med.
What the hell was that?
So Medico gets the med pick whilst DD fails. I don't know which one David was watching. He probably got the right one there.
No, like Smear got him. I don't know if it was with a trap or what, but...
Oh, Smearer gets it.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Now, this is such a mess. Like, both scouts are in super deep, 2v2 on second. Like, just getting, I don't know, it's just a big fight on grass. DD5F might be able to find Kai, he does. Like, we were watching DD5F on their second a minute ago. I'd have no idea how this situation came about, but it's like, I don't know, there's a soldier behind now, the back cap, because the back cap is on, I don't know. Honey Badger's on last. What the hell is going on?
Atomic onto QNX. DD avenges his fallen soldier buddy. Medico's super weak underneath. DD jumps up but actually gets smashed. He had a 4K there as he killed off Flip, but just exploded himself. Honey Badger and Chappy trying to cap second here. Smear goes down.
What the hell, man? This is crazy.
Chappy getting focused down there by Abs and Medico. I will continue to try and commentate this sub DM game. They do eventually edge out the cap here, and it's control points that win prizes in the ETF2L.
Like, when all is said and done, they have a significant Uber advantage and 2-man advantage, so I mean, it's all ended it well for 5abs, but like, how we got there, I'll never know.
He's gonna jump again, he's in, he's skip jumping in! It wasn't even the crit kill, but he gets the Market Gardener kill on the Medico. Gets deep into Onkai, he surfs up top to survive. Now Amps is trying to go in against 3. Honey Badger's not even looking!
Atomic's got the back cap, but there's no one there. There's one scout, it's a 1v1. If he gets this frag, he could have a legitimate attempt to last. But this scout's playing it smart, he's just delaying him. There's now time. Shappy's back, Shappy's got control of lobby. And they're actually, I don't know why they're sticking around to trade frags here now. They just want to set up on last, because now Kaya has 100%. There's going to be bodies down, and it's going to be a really, really simple push for them if they don't make a big mistake.
Oh, Atomic just setting up that med pick and drop for Amps. And the wind has well and truly been taken out of the sails of dd+5abs here, as Onkai just pops off there with the bad manner pop. Not even need it, you could have just stood there and capped, but they're going to farm frags. and they're going to make it 3-2 here. Still plenty of time left for a competitive game. 8 minutes 20 seconds as this 6th round gets underway. But yeah, I think we're in the Twilight Zone or something, Kaidus. So we entered the Bermuda Triangle of casting.
The last 5 minutes, man, it's like I was in a coma and now I've woken up, a fresh slate.
It was all a dream, boys. It's still 2-2. Let's go. Shappy onto middle, and he's trying to walk forward again and create that space for his team, but hasn't found an early frag this time. But it's going to be DD onto Medico in that kitchen area. Bon appetit, he says to the Frenchman. DD pushes forward looking for more frags, but there aren't any. It's just an immediate retreat here called by Onkaya as 5 Publiclir players back out. Smeara's taking pressure here. He's dead all his stickies and everybody's able to walk through onto him. He and Ams get knocked underneath, and Onkaya's got no heal target right now, so he's just kind of stuck there. He does start to heal again, but slight advantage for Honeybadger. He's just getting pressured hard by Ams. Everybody's looking at Atomic while Ams comes in and forces it out, and now Onkaya might just feel like going in here 4-on-4 with uber advantage.
This was like another crazy pile of crap. Ams is like dropping to the floor for no reason, selling out his team, failing 3 jumps to get back up, and then like walks backwards into Honeybadger and gets the force. Like, only Ams can make this play. This is just crazy.
Alright, David, we're going to just stop casting for the rest of the game. You're going to play the Benny Hill theme tune, and we'll call it a day. Bring the panel back in. Oh my god. Right now, though, the action continues here onto middle, and I'm checking out Ams. He's looking for a buff here from Onkai. He's going to launch forward. He's in onto the medic. 3 rockets will kill off Honeybadger, but Flip going down as well means they are actually outnumbered. There's more combat classes on the field here for dd+5abs, but they've managed to maintain their man advantage. Ixie's working his way behind here. He started that back cap as well. He's popping off shots. He's drawing their attention, but his teammates haven't followed up in time. Shabby bombs in late. He's low health. He's not going to die immediately, but he seems to have sealed his own fate into the cheese area. The cap does continue to trickle in slowly, but it's just not going to happen. Here come the heals and the players of Publiclir, and they bought a little bit of time there, but still a huge advantage for Onkai to work with.
Yeah, this is one of those Shappy plays. Like, if he'd done that 6 seconds earlier when Ixie was distracting, okay, great play, great sync up, but the opportunity had long since faded, but he does it anyway and dies, and now his team in a world of shit.
Ams is in again onto Honey, and nobody's with Honey. It's time to just jump forward. Seals the deal with a couple of rockets to the floor there. Honeybadger goes down again. Flip onto Ixie, and dd+5abs seem like they just don't want to play the next round of these playoffs. They want to go out here and now on Snakewater. 5 minutes left, Kaidus. They're going into last. Surely this is going to be another round. They're just going to jump Smeara straight onto the point with the pain train. Medico and Atomic having a field day, farming more frags here, padding those stats for the future casts. But 4-2 here, and less than 5 minutes 20 left. Is it enough time?
Yeah, like they had like a brief resurgence where they took 2 rounds, tied it up, but since then they've just lost the plot. Like one of their strengths going in was while they did have the capacity to make kind of random plays that work, they also had like a really stable kind of backbone with Honeybadger and QNX that kind of kept things ticking and prevented it from just brewing into utter chaos. And I think if you get to utter chaos against Publiclir with AMS and Medico and all this kind of crazy crap that they do, they're completely accustomed to this. It's kind of like their territory, like you're fighting on their turf now, and they're just kind of getting smashed there. As AMS jumps in, finds Shoberg, Smear onto Shappy, and Atomic onto DD5F, it's going to be a convincing mid for them. That's exactly what 5abs didn't want. They really needed a mid here to get themselves back into it. And I mean, obviously there's still time on the clock, there's enough time to make a comeback, but I think this mid is sealing the deal.
Okay, just about to hit that 100th percentile. His charge will be up momentarily, and they can push, they can hold, they can do whatever the hell they like with 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on that clock. 420 kids. It's looking grim right now for the dreams of dd+5abs.
Yep. And they have a weird setup as well defending. Ixie's on sniper, no heavy. This should be if they pop early and the sniper doesn't get a frag, this should be a relatively simple push for them. I'm not liking the setup for 5abs at all.
He's going to enter in here. Amps and Atomic getting the flashes. Those big damage dealers, but no frags coming in yet. And it's actually Medico who gives away first blood in this engagement. Ixie with that body shot. Ixie then switches on the scout, kills off Amps. Both soldiers down here at his hand. A Shabby finds Smeara. This could be the momentum shift that dd+5ab needs to get back in this game. Only Onkaya remains alive, and he is tuck and tail and running. Looks like he will live to tell the tale. but this is just about enough time here. This is what they needed to get back
If
in
they
this
deny
game.
these scout spawns, they deny the scout spawns. That's so important. They can take mid for free. They have this Uber for second. They can actually take mid and second for free if they play everything correctly here. I mean, they shouldn't be delaying. They just need to get in right now. Take this mid. They've got 3 minutes to make 2 rounds happen, and this is really, if they fuck this up, if they don't make this opportunity count, they're not going to get back into the game. Shappy, oh my god, he hits the pipes. I was going to say, like, he was so, if he didn't hit those pipes, he was dead, and that was going to be such a hindrance to them. But he hits the pipes. They're taking mid for free. Don't have to pop. 2 frags. That's second for free. I mean, it's going to be Uber by the time they get to last, but I mean, in theory, they can push. We've seen them make an even situation work and take a clean fight. If they can do that, then they can get into this. But it's all or nothing, basically, now. They have to make this push work.
Solid hold there from Honey Badger as well. Didn't want to pop. Wanted to keep this Uber ace up his sleeve. They're working their way forward here, but it's Uber versus Uber right now. Oh, flip with the headshot onto DD on the flank as the Uber combo comes in. The counter pop from Onkaya keeps Amps on full health here. As Heavy Weapons guy with the Tomislav. Shappy gets launched up in the air and goes down, so there's going to be no immediate repush coming up, or at least it would be ill-advised for them to do that. Honey Badger super weak, has to run back for that lunchbox. And with only 2 minutes 20, there's still time.
Yeah,
if they can find success in this next push, to have time left for one whitewash round.
Yeah, that push they made just there was a combination of like a bad read and unlucky. Obviously, dd+5ab getting sniped, kind of unlucky, but like I mean, they read it like they had advantage still. You know, they popped their soldier in their demo through, and yeah, it just wasn't to be. As we actually see them dry pushing now, they got they got a boy on the point, but the heavies have to drop down. They're actually focusing the heavy really nice. Flip's on Spy, so they're actually a man down. If Flip doesn't come in and make something happen, never mind. I'm talking shit. They're all dead. GG.
Like, I understand the mentality of the scouts there. They wanted a cap. They just needed. They don't have much time, but they had time to wait for their heavies to soften up those targets. Then, like, make the play, take the fight on the point. But to just go in like that was kind of asking a lot of themselves. And it hasn't worked out for them. We are officially in dead time. There's no way they can get 2 rounds in the remaining 90 seconds. So rest in peace, dd+5abs fans and bettors. This is the end of the line for your playoff dreams, but Publiclir upsetting the seeding here, coming in from 4th place, and they will be facing off against Perilous this Sunday. More on that later. There's still dead time action going on here, Kaidus.
Yeah, there is. I think dd+5abs will be really disappointed with how they played tonight. I mean, like I said, Sunshine was just a kind of like a whatever. They were talking about doing a map talk on it in our scrim earlier, so clearly they weren't feeling that confident on it. And I don't think they had time to do that map talk, so I think they would have considered that basically like a write-off. They kept it close, but this performance on Snakewater was not good. They completely lost control of the game, and they never steadied the ship. They just let it devolve into chaos, and like I said before, that's AM's territory. Like, you don't really want to fight them in that way. They had a lot more in their arsenal that they can use that Publicly probably didn't in terms of coordination. Like, we saw it in brief flashes. Like, I'm thinking, you know, that Sync Soldier play where they took their second round on Snake, where dd+5ab had distracted, QNX came in, they owned a frag together and had like a really good trade, and then just capped outright. Like, we saw glimpses of that like in that moment, but you know, that was kind of their bread and butter when we were scrimming them this week, and they were producing these kind of plays on a pretty regular basis, and you know, I just didn't see enough of it tonight. I think they'll be really disappointed.
Stay with us, guys. We will be taking a look at the logs, talking to our panel, and of course the interviews. Honey Badger will be able to shed some light on things for us beyond our fabulous analysis. But I had the logs up on screen right now, and top damage this time, Medico 313 DPM, QNX a little bit behind him, but then it's Atomic picking up that bronze medal in the damage stakes. The all-important airshot stat does go to QNX though, and DD, so perhaps moral victory for them. But the stat I feel that stands out to me the most is Schoberg seems to be kind of underperforming a little bit there.
Yeah, Schoberg was pretty rough. I mean, I don't know.
And Shappy again. Oh,
yeah, I was looking at the Shappy one, to be honest. I mean, what was it? 8 frags here? Was it? How many? I'm gonna look actually.
8, 6, 17, 238 damage.
What was his frags on the first map?
Oh, on the first map he had like 9, I think. Yeah,
so he's averaged 8.5 frags a map in this playoff game. And I was looking at the spreadsheet earlier, and granted, this is a lot to do with the amount of time you spent playing. But he had the most frags of any demo man this season. Not by a huge margin, but to go from the most frags of a demo man this season to an average of 8.5 per map, that's a huge like underperformance there, and it kind of showed in his play. Like you could see him like whiffing rollouts and like just general signs of nervousness, like weirdly timed jumps. Like even for him, like he does these weird plays from time to time, but normally it's like that's not a sensible play to make. But if you're gonna play that style, I can see why you chose to do it there. Whereas in this game, it was just so out of sync and completely like like he felt under pressure. Like he felt like he should have done this play 5 seconds ago, so he's gonna do it now regardless. And just like little like tweaks in his movement, like walking into walls and kind of getting stuck on doorways, the kind of crap you only really see when players are nervous. Like he looked nervous tonight, and yeah, huge underperformance.
On the first map, he had Smear had double the frags and almost double again this time. And one trend I want to pick up on, actually, looking back at both logs here, is that Onkaya has pretty much totally outplayed Honey Badger in both games in terms of his assists, like being there, healing the people who are getting the frags. He's 19 versus 9 this map. The last map, it was 18 versus 9. I mean, a real kind of collapse of the dd+5abs combo, perhaps, or just seems like they were often on the wrong page. We saw some really picture perfect moments where it was like Honey Badger was going back to cap middle on the dying minutes of Sunshine, and then again at the point where Atomic was in the back cap on Snake War, Honey Badger's just thinking I gotta go back and block the cap, but nobody's there to protect him, and he ends up dropping to Amps coming in, who they knew was there. But it just seems like there was a lot of players who underperformed today. I'm pointing the finger at Honey as well, if you're pointing the finger at Shabby, but let's hear what our panel have to say. They're with us right now, aren't they?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, panel.
Hi.
I don't know. I'm really disappointed. Considering I was hoping dd+5f would win. There was a point in the game where they brought it back to 2-2, and it seemed like they had mids figured out, they had last pushes figured out, and then it goes to the next mid, and they change what they've done on mid compared to the last two they've just won. Then they sort of get away with it anyway, and then they lose a round, and then when they lose another round, and then when they have a chance to attack last again, the clutch time we have to make it, they do a completely different push, and then the 2 times they won the last push. Just really, really odd decision making at those crucial times.
The panel. Great insight, panel.
Phil, help me out here.
Well, I thought it was going to be you might pass it on, and I would sort of just weigh in with my
CommanderX was waving
thoughts.
the verbal bat on it in your direction, and nobody reached out to grab it.
Do I have the
fumble.
talking button now? Is it my turn? I just felt like Shappy just underperformed, as Kaidus was saying. I mean, he had a pretty bad start to the season. I think when he played against Nerd Rage, he had 1 frag on one of the games that he played. But yeah, there just didn't seem to be much presence, and I don't know, I kind of was a little bit disappointed by the scouts because they've been doing so well the previous few games they've been playing. The last few officials have been carrying quite a bit. But yeah, it was just nothing just seemed to be working out. It was like a completely different team from a couple of weeks ago.
Phil, what were your thoughts?
I think they had one of their lesser good days or bad day even. At least compared to what I've been seeing them play, they're really inconsistent. They have so good days where they can play so well together. This one was not one of their days. And yeah, as Kaidus also said, I looked one of the mids with Shabby, he did 100 damage the entire mid.
That's more than me.
So little.
It might be a little bit of an irrelevant question. I'm going to ask it anyway. Phil, do you think it would have been a different game if Lego had managed to make it in here? I mean, DD and Publiclir kind of made it in here on the back of some Lego misplays.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have done a better job?
I have no freaking clue. I think we could, if we had one of our good days and not tilting and playing badly, we probably could have done better, but you never know.
We'll never know.
Nope.
We do have Steedy and Honey just waiting above there in the top of Mumble. I'm going to drag them in as we get the interviews underway. So welcome to Amps, dd+5f, and Honey. I think We got to congratulate Amps, of course. Congratulations, Publiclir. Is he even here? Oh, he's going to unmute.
Hello. Thank you.
But I want to talk to Honey. I want to talk to dd+5ab. You guys had built up a little bit of a cult following. People were hyping your chances. You were the high seed here in this fixture. Where did it all go wrong, Honey?
I don't know. Just the stalemates we couldn't get through. Like, we could have got so many rounds, but we messed up on so many stupid things. And my calls were so off today. So no, it was just a bit all over the place for us, really. That's why we lost it. We could have taken it.
How do you feel about the maps? Like, were you happy with the stage that had been set?
No, we weren't too sure on Sunshine. We've only scrimmed it once, and it was literally today. So we did talk about it a little bit. We had a bit of a map talk, but that was it, really. So no, we weren't looking forward to that map. Snake War, on the other hand, we were really looking forward to, and so was Viaduct. So we were hoping to try and see if we could take those two maps, but nah, we couldn't get through anything on Snake, unfortunately, and it was close on Sunshine because we talked about it, so I don't know. It's just a bit unlucky.
DD and Honey, obviously, like, this is you guys' first time in the Premiership playoffs. How big a factor do you think nerves played? Like, were you guys too pumped for this game?
Huh? DD, you can answer
What?
No, we weren't too nervous. We were just joking about and mumble. I don't think it was the nerves that got to us, really. It was more what happened if it was any other day.
We were having some issue with some of Shabby's decisions. Like, he was a big reason that you guys made it here to this point. Like, he's, from the stats, he was third, roughly, in the demo man rankings. Like, he deserved to be here, but he seemed to have underperformed today, coming up short against Smira, like a demo man who a lot of people would probably rank below him. Do you think he just had a bad day?
I think that's what you got to put it down to. There was a bit of arguing as well throughout the game, so I don't know. We tried to calm down.
But, like, differences of opinions between yourself and Shabby, or?
Maybe. Not too sure.
Spicy.
The dust is
maybe.
the dust is yet to settle on this one. I suppose you need, like, you know, a day or some time to reflect on what exactly went wrong. But overall, if I'd said to you at the start of the season, Honey, dd+5ab, you guys are going to finish fourth, you would have taken that, right?
Yeah, definitely. This was a learning experience for us, I think, more than anything. And to come like into playoffs at least is good for us. That's where I was aiming for anyway. So now it's a good learning experience at least. Something to build off.
Are we going to see roster changes? Is it too soon to tell?
I'm not too sure yet. We haven't talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I can read between the lines. Who's getting cut? Let's go.
No.
Too soon. I'm ruthless, boys. Sorry. We want to talk to you right now. You know, thinking way back to the pre-season, like the story here of Publiclir, TLR that became Publiclir at DreamHack, and then rolled on. People were cut. People were brought in. Amps the Snake became a meme. You've even got many S's in your name here on Mumble. Was it worth it?
What? How many people?
All those gamers' dreams that you ruined. You're here now, man. You've made it into the semi-finals on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think this lineup's far better than our DreamHack lineup. Like, far better. So, I guess it was worth it. We're happy.
You sound happy.
I know you're a man of few words. I'll do as much work as possible here. But how confident were you coming into this fixture? Like, people had underestimated dd+5ab. Obviously, you beat them in main season 6-0. Did you think this was going to be a roll? 2 maps?
No, we were superbly confident. Like, we knew we would win. I don't think there was any question about it. Like, we just... we felt like we knew exactly how to play against this kind of style. It was a bit shaky. It was a bit shaky at times, but I think it went pretty much how we thought it would come down.
What was your general game plan? Were you hoping for the scrappy game, you know, the fight down in the gutters?
I don't know if it looked like it was a super scrappy game, but from the moment we had advantage, we held the advantage, and we didn't we tried to minimize all mistakes. I mean, you can't really do that perfectly with the lineup we have, because sometimes I just get really carried away and I just like do something dumb, or I mean, I guess Medico has the same tendency. Sometimes he just wants to go in, and on top of that, our scouts can get really impatient. Like we just find ourselves in situations where we should not be going forward. We should be backing, but you'll have Atomic shouting "Go, go, go" in Mumble, or Flip just getting really bored and just going AFK for a couple minutes because he's so tired of just holding last. I think we did it the best we could, and I think this night was the best we ever played in terms of that sort of gameplay.
Talk to us a little bit about the moment on Snakewater where you guys had successfully held last. I can't remember like what the score was, but your scouts, Atomic, were just running forward, shredding nerds. They pushed too far ahead, didn't really cap the point, kind of fizzled out, but then Ams was sitting there on that wooden fence on second, hiding in the corner as a heavy weapons guy. How did that happen? What the hell was going on?
I'm not really sure what I was thinking of. I mean, I just started pushing out as a heavy, and then when I was halfway out of last, I thought it's too late to turn back, so I just kept going, and then I ended up behind him.
You wanted to commit to the play, you know, I get it. I do remember the score because it was 2-0 and we were like, why are they throwing the game?
I was really close to actually getting something done. I was just like slightly off timing, but I ended up behind their medic, but I couldn't kill him in time because he was going around the corner.
Those heavy timings are real hard to nail, man. Better luck next time. But what was on Kaya's reaction to that? Because it was a kind of a team dribble there. Was he getting upset, or was he cool and collected tonight for the big game?
Nah, Kaya hasn't gotten upset in a while. He's doing a great job calling, and he's not getting upset. I mean, he gets upset about dumb stuff, like me pushing out of last as a heavy. He got pretty upset about that one. But like he's I think he's really, just in this short amount of time, he's really improved as a caller, like keeping his cool, and just keeping us together a lot. And
are we live, David?
Hi guys.
Hey team. We managed to work our way onto a new Mumble, but we seem to have lost Honey and dd+5f, but we still have Amps. And he's the guy that we want to talk to. WARHURYEAH didn't make it, sorry. Never leave a man behind, unless his name is WARHURYEAH Superstar, aka CommanderX, is still with us though. The interview continues. Amps, we got to talk about the next round. You're facing off against Perilous, aka Full Tilt.
yeah,
Your thoughts, please.
we're gonna have to be playing with a Merc Roamer most likely, which is a hit. But I'm really confident that we get some good synergy going with this set Roamer, and we get to play with him a bit beforehand, and he does good at that. We will most likely beat them.
Why
Who is it?
Well, we're looking at Caps at the moment. We're looking to bring him back. That's
Only
not
to cut the
confirmed.
game again. You're a savage beast.
Why would you bring some random guy out of some
He's
guy out of
worked
retirement?
before, and he's done fairly well. And
Not
like
good enough to stay in the team.
Man and Kaya really love playing with him, so I just said go for it if you think he's good enough, or if he's
fair.
on form.
I guess if you played with him before, it makes sense. But
Are you worried you're slowly but surely turning back into Saints?
I mean, I don't know if I should be worried.
Next up is Denia. Then Hank.
Then finally the snake himself gets cut.
Replaced by Hiss. What a twist. It's the
Then they
long
renamed
con.
the TLR.
It was Hiss's plan all along.
Just in time for LAN. Here, explain, sorry, Amps, why is it that Medico can't play?
I think he's going to his dad's place or something. He always goes to his dad's place on the weekends, and apparently his dad can't be convinced otherwise, so won't be here Sunday. We tried to
Nice.
schedule
Cool.
this Full Tilt game for Thursday, but Full Tilt didn't agree to it, so...
Can we not get like Midnight Mick to go and talk to Medico's dad, you know?
Should we
him
set
how-
up a support group for fathers of gamers?
show him how a savage dad does it. That's sad to hear. I suppose, I'm assuming, yeah, that Perilous are going to allow Caps in as the Merc. Do you have any other like plan Bs, a backup rumor?
I don't think they
Backup,
have any
backup.
reason to not allow Caps. I mean, we'll never know, but haven't looked at anyone else yet. I was thinking of CommanderX, but my team didn't think that was a good idea. We didn't get Jackie.
Is it fair to say, that this was your final then? Like, you're going in there without your roster from the season? You guys are done? You're washed up, kid?
No, we're good. We're gonna beat Full Tilt.
People keep saying Full Tilt might not have Spud as well. I don't know if it's actually true, but I've heard that like 5 times in the past 2 days.
I think there was some problems, I have no idea.
Oh dear.
What kind of problems? You need to be a little bit more precise than that.
Doesn't he work
This
most
mystery.
weeks? Doesn't he
Because
work
gonorrhea
most
is a problem.
I heard that like his internet was getting upgraded, but to get it upgraded, like they're installing fiber, but they're destroying his old line like 5 days before they installed the new one, or something like that.
Cheat.
I'm just mad because it means all our stats are going to be ruined. Like, I'm not going to have any cap stats. Gentleman John's going to have to work overtime here to put in a dummy page for caps. This is disastrous. We need some caps trivia as well. Get on it, boys. Come on, minions. It's disastrous, but
Just
I
put his
guess-
height in as a trivia. It's quite interesting.
it is.
We should get that for everyone.
Well, no,
Heights,
because he's really
weights.
tall. It's not like I
No,
want
for
just-
everyone. I want heights, weight,
IQ.
IQ, what hand they use.
We should like
Place
have them,
sensitivity.
have them like matched up like boxes or something. And we just have them side by side. You don't have like the DPM or anything. You just have the personal information.
Let's take it further. Let's have weight categories in TF2. So, like, your team has to be under a certain total weight to enter, like, you know, the lightweight category and so on.
My weight would be like bag of crisps.
The super lightweight.
Well, I don't think that counts, to be honest.
That AO girl roster that had like Koss and Stark, that would have been super lightweight for sure.
For paperweight division.
Looking ahead to the final then, I'm throwing over to the panel here. Do Publiclir have a snowball's chance in hell?
Nope.
I guess
If Spud isn't playing.
Yeah, if Spud's not playing, because he seems to be like a very consistent like player for them. Like a really, really good down man as well. So I guess they do have a chance. Having said that, I did expect Publiclir to lose today, and they've won. So if they can sort of use the next few days to sort of go through stuff and stuff like that, then maybe.
I mean, if Publiclir can do what they did tonight, where they can have good middles and then just slow the game down and like force the other team to play at their own pace, play it really slow, and I can see Full Tilt, or well, Perilous, tilting to that. Do you know what I mean? Having the game slowed down, not being able to get anything going against, a team they feel like they should be able to, out DM and play better than. But if they can't get anything going and they're just slowly but surely being worn down, I can see it, it just sort of snowballing into more mistakes from them.
I think they're
You gonna fight for your team here? You gonna let these nerds shit on you?
I don't really. It's not really important to me what other people think about the game's result, is it? I just know that we'll be playing good and we have a really good chance of beating them. Like everyone I think thinks the same way. Like we're sure that we will beat them. It's not a problem. Like we'll be playing our game. We'll be playing the way we did today, and they'll just be tilting to that and whining about how retarded we're all. And we'll be there and just win it.
Starting. It's bubbling.
He's so dumb.
That's the longest sentence has ever said in an interview. We've got a reaction, boys.
We've got to rise out of him. Just
We've
wait
got-
for the day.
Why is he jumping me?
Is that a Koss impression?
I'm pretty sure that's Talash.
We'll never know. Ams, what is it?
It's the whole team.
Oh, that was a mixture of accents.
Last time I
It's like a
launched
cocktail.
Koss, he told me I'm retarded in Steam and removed me.
Fucking toxic Brits, eh?
They've just become a parody of themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard enough. Panel, your final thoughts on the game and what's coming up on Sunday?
Good game
Surprised
from
by the result?
Publiclir. Yeah, I'm kind
surprised.
of disappointed by them overall.
Sideshow called it, guys. He said 2 maps, Publiclir, easy.
Yeah, but Slideshow also called that we would finish last and then finish 5th, and we didn't. So
He got it right eventually. He's had the last laugh, honey.
The last laugh, yeah.
I don't know, I'm pretty sort of, I guess, impressed by Publiclir and how much they've sort of improved over their previous games where it was just like a massive dribble fest. There was still a bit of that, but not as much as before. So yeah, I'm sure Sunday will be good regardless. I can't really call it at the moment. I'd have to wait to see what the lineups are on the day.
Yeah, that is going to be an interesting development. When do the Mercs have to be declared or finalised, or when will we know for sure what the rosters are, Ams?
I guess tomorrow, because we're gonna scrim with whoever roamer we'll be getting. It's most likely Caps. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Caps.
Kaya said Caps was on the roster as well, so
yeah,
can't be denied.
Saito unfortunately won't be here on Sunday, so we'll be using Tech C on. Is that okay with you, Ams?
Well, he's on the roster, so.
Any Merc they need building
Oh, that's right, actually.
They didn't let us play on the first day.
Your hand's been shown a little early there.
Well, Tech is on the full roster still, isn't he? So.
Well played. Well
the
played.
long con.
All along. Saito getting cut for the playoffs.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. Let's go shout outs. It's an open mic, man. Just jump in and spread some love on the internet.
Shout out to me, because I got a new job today, and I'm really happy.
Oh, what are you doing now?
Nice.
I'm working for a IT agency that's got a contract from the government to roll out energy meters into every home in the UK by 2020.
Can I get an energy meter?
Yeah, everyone in the UK can get one more.
Can you sign me up?
You don't need to sign up, it's literally mandatory.
Oh, so do you just look over that part, the IT behind it?
Yeah, support for the energy companies rolling it out.
Will you come to
Nice.
Northern Ireland?
No.
No.
I mean,
Fucking
I haven't
Brits.
actually started yet, so maybe I can't quite be a spokesman at this point. But I feel confident in saying we will never set foot in Ireland.
I can tell. I can tell you've done your practice, man. You're spiting off the company line there.
Yeah, what's
You
the
were
company
definitely prepared for
motto?
interview.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Be smart. It's called Smart DCC, so probably be smart.
Is it mandatory energy meters by 2020?
Yeah, you should see the t-shirts we have. They have to be really wide.
Sorry. Do you want to sponsor a TF2 tournament?
Everyone that wins gets a free energy meter.
Somebody else.
By 2020, though, they're still gonna make sure that you're in a queue,
Get your prize money in 2020.
and you have to be based in England. It'll be quicker than ETF2L. Hey,
More shout outs. Let's go.
shout out to my cat.
Go, you go.
I'm gonna shout out to Honey. I was impressed with the dd+5f or 5abs story this season. I'm sad to see they didn't make it all the way through, but definitely one of the interesting narratives this season. Well played, guys.
Shout out to Mark for marking this week. Shout out to Gink. Shout out to you guys for casting, and good luck in the next round, Publiclir.
Nobody else wants to rock the mic. I'm going to quickly remind everyone that Sunday is the big day. It's the end of the Premiership season. We're going to see Publiclir playoff against Perilous Gaming. The winner will go on to play Reason, but both those fixtures will be best of threes. Nerd Rage. I haven't been watching TF2 for about a month.
What,
And,
did you choke on water or something? That's quite nasty.
but, that's going to be starting from about 1930 CET, maybe. We're going to start again early with a panel show. Different panel, I think.
Oh.
I don't mean it like that, but
Oh.
Now
I think
who's the snake?
War is going to be there. Black Benjamin. But casting, at least, we know for sure who is casting. It's going to be Max and Beater for the first game. Then it's going to be CX and Max, I think, for the final. DavidTheWin doing camera. All the details are in the big article there over on teamfortress.tv. I've got nothing else to say but to thank my co-caster Kaidus, cameraman DavidTheWin, War, CommanderX, and Phil for doing the panel. Honey, dd+5f, and Ams for joining us for the interview. Publiclir have emerged victorious here in 2 straight maps. Shout out to Twitch chat as well. See you on Sunday, guys.